Timothy or something.
Yeah, what was going on? I'll tell you in a minute.
All right.
Well, half a minute, not even really a minute. I looking at multi-regional Blu-ray players.
hmm
I have a multi-regional. I had two, and one went bad. The one I was using, the one that's still in the box, which is a little bit bigger, and you know, it does DVDs. It'll play anything in the world. Now, the one that I was using had some trouble for some reason with the American Marvel movies sometimes.
Oh yeah, you were
But
telling me.
I,
Like
huh?
I said, you were telling me about that. That gave you a hassle with certain movies sometimes.
Yeah, and so I just watch it on another American DVD player because I do have, some of those around here, right? Um,
hmm
I've been watching Gunsmoke on one of those. Timothy Olsen jumping right in here. There's Timothy.
There he
Uh,
is.
I
What's up,
found you
Timothy?
again.
yeah, I put the link out, hoping Paul Motsky would come on. We haven't talked with Paul a while, but I looked at
Hello, Dark Lady.
Josh Snares. He's a guy that I'm subscribed to him on YouTube, and he does Doctor Who stuff. Big Doctor
hmm
Who fan. I think he lives in the UK. He's Australian. He doesn't sound Australian, but you know, he does some of the better stuff on Doctor Who. And
Huh.
I got to looking at just his content while trying to find Mark Largent, which I did, so that in today's description we would have his links, if anybody wanted to follow Mark on YouTube. But I said, oh, I wonder what Josh has come out with lately, because he usually comes out with some Doctor Who stuff, And the stuff that he had was like writing things, and I wasn't really interested in those.
Oh,
But
okay.
I was like, oh yeah, the last thing that was animated for Doctor Who was the Savages, I think. And I said, I would like to at least buy one or two of the new animated things so that I don't get behind. These are like things that have missing episodes, or they're maybe all missing, and they've animated them to the soundtrack because they have the sound to all of them. And the Savages, I have the audio to. Pretty good story. Um, you got a companion that leaves on that one, so it's kind of, you know, and he's done other audio stuff where it kind of picks up where he's still living, you know. Welcome to
Hey,
the show,
RJ.
Paul Monsky.
Hey Rex, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Oh,
Bye bye
okay.
bye boom.
I'm alive.
Sexiest man on YouTube, right
Oh
here.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, whoops,
Hey,
I kicked
Timothy.
it.
I'm all caught up with you, right? You got something new out that I haven't picked up yet?
No,
I don't.
just Zen Odysseus is the recent release.
Hey,
Movie
Oh,
RJ.
number 4 is still being worked on.
RJ in the house. Dark Clyken. I was thinking about you the other day, brother. Uh, what you been up to?
That
Uh,
can't be a good sign.
he always has great toys and things like that. Carrie in the house. Hey, Carrie.
Well, Carrie,
People piling in on the 4 o'clock shadow.
they got nowhere
and
better
hell,
to
Paul.
go.
Good to see you.
Hey.
Today's drink mix today, as I said, dragon fruit.
Dragon
Wally
fruit.
Lights dragon fruit. And tomorrow
All right.
I will be very adventuresome and tie up my bowels probably with bubble gum.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we'll try that. I've already got it mixed up and cooling off in the refrigerator. But now this one, dark red tint, you know. So
It
I
tastes
must.
Any of
anything like
you,
dragon fruit. It should be pretty good.
have
Yeah,
any
but
of
I
you
don't know.
tried?
I don't think I've ever had dragon fruit. Dragon fruit has a lot of seeds in it, right?
Yeah, I
I think
think
so.
well, I think you can eat them though. They're kind of like
Okay.
they're not like seeds. They're almost like a strawberry, where you know.
Hmm. Oh. Wow. See that? There's your brain running. Inspiration. Uh,
Uh oh.
I didn't realize, they always tell you as a kid, don't eat the watermelon seeds, don't eat them on it. It turns out that's one of the best things you could eat on the planet,
What?
Those
nutrition wise,
Huh.
Yeah, except now they've made all the watermelons seedless.
Yeah.
bastards.
They've genetically modified them
I
to be
know.
seedless, so you
Well,
can't
I've
get.
been, I've
You
been,
got to
I've
luck
been
into
eating-
watermelon seeds now. You don't get them the way we used to.
Yeah,
Can't they
one of
just
the
start growing them square-like so you can easily put them in your fridge?
yeah
them rolling out?
yeah, you can conform it to a box and grow them square. Although I've never tried that.
Yeah, they've got a few different colors now too. It's not just red anymore. You can get yellow ones.
Well, they've always had yellow. Yellow was that was the sweet.
Well, I hadn't seen those until recently. I didn't even know they had
Oh
a
no,
yellow.
we had
Oh,
them in the
yeah.
70s.
They're playing God.
Oh yeah, all the way back to our childhood, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
maybe it's a regional thing or something because I never saw.
Now I've only seen yellow or red. I've never seen any other color.
Now how about Black Diamond,
No.
where the rind is all green?
Oh
a
yeah,
dark
yeah.
green.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh,
striped.
okay. Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
striped. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
they're
a Forgotten Kiss song. Black
Black
Diamond.
Diamond are generally sweet. They've got here in Arkansas in Cave City, which is
Yes,
a
Carrie.
hole in the wall. Their claim to fame was a wax museum, Call of the Wild, which was cool because you go to see the wax museum things. They had most of it was a souvenir shop, of course, but in the back they had the displays, right, of the wax things, and they had like a real polar bear that was killed in the 40s, and it standing up like this, 18 foot tall. It was a monster. I know I was
Wow.
just a kid, but that's tall. 18 foot tall polar bear.
Yeah, that's a big
standing.
even for a polar bear.
Big one, yeah. They probably downsized them now. I mean, it's kind of like, remember the oak trees that you used to be able to cut down the good hardwood, and yeah, how about that devil's tire?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It'll take you a
I'm
while to
good,
get
Rick.
through that
It's been real busy. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Dark. Kind of like
one. And
Paul.
yes, Carrie, I
never
do
know
have
how to
that
get.
note.
I never know how to get a hold of you, Paul. I was wanting to have you on,
Oh,
and here you are.
I usually tune in when I'm around, and
Yeah.
just happened to see you on the earlier the show you were on just before when you were
hmm
looking for
Yeah,
Blu-ray
I'm
advice.
trying to. I'm trying to get some Doctor Who animated ones that they have missing episodes, because back in the day they erased a lot of the episodes in the
You
70s.
can get a multi-region Blu-ray player on Amazon for $53, something like that.
Really? All right,
Yeah.
that's might be where is that brand new or is that pre-used?
No, it's a Philips.
Okay,
It's a Philips all region, and it said it was
Okay.
Blu-ray, but I don't
and it's
know.
Blu-ray. Okay. Well, I got to looking and it was like smart 4K Wi-Fi, and I'm like, what? Yeah, let's get some help on this. But that would be
Yeah.
great. That would be great to get one for like about $60. That's where I got one. For DVD player, it was $60 multi-regional. I got one for 25, but that was kind of like, I think that was already used.
Sorry, I
but
had to
it was-
plug in my cord, and I think I unmuted myself while I was doing that.
I think I did that wrong. I think I checked the wrong box. $150.
150. Okay, well that's better than what I've seen on eBay, but then I haven't checked eBay extensively.
There's one for 140. There's one for 130. So there's some options for. And it says there's one for $89.59, but I don't know.
Okay. And what did you put in the search? Like multi-regional
Multi-region Blu-ray disc.
Blu-ray disc. Okay.
Player.
Yeah, I'm in the market because, I mean, like I was telling Timothy Olsen on the earlier stream, I looked into Doctor Who: The Savages, which I think was the last animated thing. I'm behind on buying some of the animated things and completing my collection. Um, and the on Blu-ray it was $14.99. That's with free shipping. The DVD was like $28.99, so $29. And I'm going, wow, there's a big difference. I might want to just get it on
You want to know
Blu-ray.
what I learned? I learned there were
What'd you
6 regions.
Yes, there's 6 regions in the world. China is its own region. It's region 6, and like our region and Canada's region is like region 1. I think South America's region 5, maybe. I'm not sure.
Sounds like a weird version of the Hunger Games.
I know UK. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? UK is like region 2. I know, and some of Europe. But yeah, I mean, why buy an American DVD player? Why? It's limiting. Why not get a multi-regional player if it's about the same cost, or a Blu-ray player for that matter, and then you can play anything in the world. Why limit yourself? You know, but I am in the market for a multi-regional Blu-ray player, definitely. And I don't prefer
I'm not
Blu-ray.
sure if it's my PlayStation 4 plays Blu-rays, and I haven't had it refuse to play any of them. I don't know if it's multi-regional or not.
And some Wi-Fi. I mean, not Wi-Fi, but the Wii. Remember Wii? Little boxes? You could play stuff like movies and things on those, I think.
I remember
He's daring me to kick him.
He thinks I don't. Yeah, I don't have the stones to do it.
Yeah, I've got the Stones, but I prefer the Beatles. But now Shadowhawk, that's a different matter. He prefers the Stones. Shadowhawk, do you have Zed and Odysseus?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Oh, you got it finally?
Now is all
that? I got it a while back. So that's all they told me. I liked it a lot.
Oh,
Great read, man.
Yeah.
Is
I love
all
Fun
that illustrated by Rob Ewing?
Yep.
Okay, I thought it was.
Yeah, we're working on a new one right now.
Awesome.
PlayStation 4 isn't multi-regional. My ex couldn't play American Disc on it. Not all Blu-rays are multi-regional. Right.
The Japanese.
Well, you also have
got
an
my copy delivered today. Oh, Carrie got hers delivered today, Timothy, I think.
Oh, awesome. Enjoy.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I think you'll like it, Carrie. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to have to contact Anthony about I haven't done that yet. About my damn dirty thing.
Yeah, you tell DG better.
Oh, you still haven't got a whole answer on that?
No, I haven't. It's been a wild day
My
today.
lingerer.
You tell him to get his ass off that fence and send you your book.
That's right. Get out that fence and get to the post office.
Well, I mean, he had COVID recently, but he's over.
Yeah. Come on. Suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, recently, I think. Oh, you know what? I thought Anthony, in one of his responses, or at least maybe Doc told me, one reason he didn't, he was kind of quarantining it for 3 or 4 days because he had COVID, but he must have forgot to send it. I don't know, because I know the mail's already ran today. Of course, I don't know how he's going to send it. If he doesn't send it soon, I'm going to kill Karen on DG. Who's going to see the new Superman? Mark Largent saw it last night, and he should be joining us later.
I really don't have any interest in seeing another Superman.
I don't either.
I saw a couple of people who have done reviews so far, and Said it wasn't.
I forget. I don't know who
Wasn't
it was,
terrible,
but
but it was definitely different. So I don't
one of
know.
the actors or something. I only heard audio on the radio last night when I was working, but he was saying it's about immigration, and Clark Kent's an immigrant and all that, and what he's doing is checking the box so he gets another job. That's all he's doing with that,
Mhm.
But he's undercutting the movie before it's even released. But that's what they do.
If they want a more accurate look at illegal immigration, they need to do another Aliens movie.
I don't know. Actors just need to not speak
Ale-
except when they're in a movie.
It'd be called Aliens: Illegal Border Crossing.
Mm.
If it's called Son of Ryan, I backed it. Maybe you should too. It's a good book over there on Fun My Comic.
Back in the day.
$10 away. So one book, basically, if somebody backs it,
Woohoo.
will get him at least 25%
Get it?
to the first stretch goal.
Get it?
And I haven't even looked at the stretch goals yet, but
Cool.
possibly we'll do that later in the show. Keep RJ hanging. I think that's Predator Paul.
Predator Paul.
Yeah, that's what RJ said.
Now I want there to be a Predator named Paul. That just seems cool.
Paul the
Have the
Predator.
Eagles fight the pedos. That's Alien versus Predator. There you go.
Oh,
Alien versus the pedo.
Predator's
girl.
one arch nemesis, Chris Hansen.
He just runs the other way. Oh no.
He'll read my DMs. Oh. Now the Predator has a middle name, comma.
How do I not have your call sign and Ryan saved yet? I just don't. Been going over to Find My Comic, just searching for it.
Really
But I'll save
expanding
it
the
today.
lore here on the Predator.
Well, it'd probably be if you had to eat your grandmother, she should probably be easy to catch.
Well, Shadowhawk, they were talking about the subject that you were talking about not a great look for Trump. Talking about the farmers, like he's like, this is not amnesty, but we don't want to leave the farmers in a lurch too. And I'm all for that. I mean, I understand that. Maybe because I come from a farming family. But yeah, I get it. I mean, he's gotten blowback on that. And I think so too. I think they're like, no, look, man, don't start parsing. Get them out. Let them come back legally,
Yeah.
even if they've been here for decades. Even if, here was a scenario. Even if the father has like 3 sons that are Marines.
Well, I would say just to save, this year's crop or whatever, you give them all a temporary work visa until the end of the, harvesting season this year. They all get sent back to Mexico, and you all have to reapply to come back legally. Since you've been here and you've got somebody vouching for you for the last 20 years, you've been a good employee or whatever, then, we'll put you at the top of the list, get you right back in.
Right.
But you got to do it the right bus. You got to do it the right fucking way.
Then stick them in Montana because nobody lives there.
There you go.
Put them on the fast track. Put them on the fast track for sure. I mean,
but I agree. There's plenty of them that have probably been here for years that are hardworking. Just trying to keep their head low and stay out of trouble. Those are the people that we're worried about. Unfortunately,
what gets me, I don't care. If you've been doing it for 50 years. I mean, they've been doing this border crap since Chavez. Whatever. I mean, or for decades. And it's like, I get it. You got like the nut harvest there in California. You've got the lettuce and immigrant. I mean, and that's been for decades. I mean, I remember watching The Fugitive, and The Fugitive, that's one way he hides out, is he went down the border and was doing lettuce or onions or something, I don't know, along with the Hispanic, crowd, and they migrate, from, whatever's in season, okay, it's
Right.
oranges this month and it'll be something else next. And they go where the work is. And he was, I mean, so that's been going on for decades, but it's like, okay,
RJ.
when does it stop? I mean, when are we really going to take a hard look at it, immigration, and when are we going to? We already have, on the bad side, we've got cell groups, and there was a lot of talk, especially around 4th of July. Are there going to be any terrorist activity? Because we have the cell groups and the sort of militia camps and things like that here in America. We know they're here, but there's a lot probably we don't know. I mean, what infuriates me is like 400 and something thousand children are missing, and we don't know where they are. Under Biden, they were saying, we don't know where they're at. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nut harvest.
Yeah.
Harvest these nuts, RJ says.
I was gonna say, speaking of harvesting nuts,
Can we watch RJ trailer on Choppy Ass Theater, please?
Now, when my dad was working from the shipyard, there was this, one of his coworkers was Hispanic, and when his cousin would sneak over into America and visit him, and then when he wanted to go back, he would purposely get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had. I mean, I had relatives in Houston. Half of my family down there is Mexican, so they would have people, come up for a visit every now and again. And when it was time to go, they just turn themselves into immigration and they get a free bus ride back home.
It's brilliant.
Was the reason that they would just deport him and it'd be on their dime to get him back? Is that it? It would.
Hey, I gotta go.
I gotta go,
Rex.
Yeah, I mean, because
Rex, I
if
gotta
you
go.
got
I
caught,
have something
you
just come
turned
up.
yourself
Okay.
in or
See
whatever.
you, Timothy.
All right, bye, Tim.
No, it's me.
Yeah, back then they would
it's
just.
Paul.
Nope.
Okay.
Like, what the hell?
Wait, that was Paul. That
Take care, Paul.
Oh, bye, Paul. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
I think
I was
I
gonna
think
keep
it's kind of
Timothy.
brilliant.
Which
What?
Yeah,
what did you
Cheech
think?
Marin even wrote a song about it. They included it in a old Cheech and Chong movies. That's my cousin's wedding. Everybody's getting a ride back home from La Migra.
Yeah. RJ says, as a first responder in California and Colorado, I personally encountered Mexican, Russian, and Chinese organized crime. I'm glad we have Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah. Russians ain't they don't play with them guys.
I like the music. Sort of that techno pop, the 80s. I like that.
Yeah, a little funky.
A little funky, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a little new wave, I suppose. I mean, it's supposed to be
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
futuristic.
kind of techno. I guess they would have called it back, back then. But,
Yeah.
The New Wave didn't start out that way, did it?
no, New Wave
Well,
was a
Pretty
little
much just
more out
watered
there
down.
at first. Yeah.
New Wave was just pretty much watered down punk rock, wasn't it? Starting
I
out.
don't know. You had like B-52s and what you call it? What the hell are those guys?
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Devo and fucking.
Yeah, Devo.
When a problem
Whip
comes
it, whip it
along,
good.
Yeah, they were kind of out there, and then he got more into the more popular new wave or whatever with like all the weirdo.
New Wave,
It got
New
really
Wave became
popular.
more like synthy and whatnot, and then like
Crazy haircuts.
regular punk rock just became hardcore.
Yeah, regular punk rock was usually more in your face, like just shouting at you and shit.
I'll
Now
tell you what,
that's music.
if you want to see someone like wind up the crowd and just troll them, the band Fear always did that. They had this bit where they'd say, "We want you to be, we just want to make friends here. Hey, we got money. You want to be our friend?" And they'd be like, "Change." They go, "Actually, we all think you're a bunch of expletives, and we actually don't care if you like it or not." Throw the change at them.
Nice.
That's going to be my new character, expletive. There you go. That would
They
be
somehow-
a good name for a character.
Fear somehow got on Saturday Night Live.
And you could have an exclamation point as his symbol on his chest.
There you go.
That's branding there.
Fun. It's a pretty good story too. How they got on Saturday Night Live. They're good friends with was it Jim or John Belushi.
Oh well.
Yeah, and then like they originally were after doing their I guess they did like they were practicing before the show actually starts. They had like a run through. They were cut from the show, and then so John said, "Well, then I'm not going to do my cameo appearance then." So they put him back on. Yeah, and of course, what they didn't know is a bunch of people had come up from California, and so there was actual moshing in the studio during the thing. They cut transmission after like 3 songs.
Oh wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they had to get the hell out of there after this. Yeah. Sorry, we got sidetracked.
I know one. Well, that's all right. I was just kind of searching X for messages, make sure I didn't miss anything. A little bit behind on stuff. I was going to show this yesterday. I'm absolutely sorry that I didn't, because Santo, it was just a foreign comic I was going to show, but then when I actually took a look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's Princess Leia with a blaster.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like foreign like movies and comics and whatever where they just ripped off property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're a completist, though, that would be a good one to locate, if you could get it for a good price.
If you want to see a bad movie that really rips off Star Wars, Turkish Star Wars, the movie that's called Turkish Star Wars, they literally have the background where it's like those X-wing TIE fighters battle scenes.
Oh yeah, I've actually seen some of that stuff on YouTube.
I think I've seen like some scenes of it or something. I know somebody was talking about it.
It's so, or they had like a Turkish Spider-Man, but he was like a bad guy. And
that one's crazy. I think they got was it a Korean Spider-Man too, South Korean Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He's got like a Spider-Mobile and he drives around.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, he did have a Spider-Mobile in the 70s.
Yeah, but I mean, this didn't look anything like it.
That just seems ridiculous. Spider-Man. Why does Spider-Man need a Spider-Mobile?
Exactly. I mean, and then it can stick to walls and everything, right? And it's like, okay, that's just a dumb idea.
It's like Wonder Woman's invisible jet.
And just in case Ghost Rider blows through the city, and Spider-Man has to chase him up the side of a building. He's got a car.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, no Spider-Man comes close to the 70s Spider-Man that shot ropes instead of webs to swing from.
Oh, the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were actual ropes.
Yeah, and they looked like actual ropes.
Now, I'm sure you guys, you probably were around when they had the Harvey, was it Harvey? Oh no, I mean Birdman cartoon from. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Adult Swim took an actual episode of the original show and redubbed it to be funny.
Yeah, they did that with the Space Ghost Coast to Coast and all that, and yeah, it was some good stuff back then. Yeah, I didn't discover Harvey Birdman until like a little later. I was watching Space Ghost first, and then ran into Harvey Birdman and some of the others.
I discovered all those during the first run of Adult Swim. They had Space
Yeah,
Ghost
I think
Coast
so.
to
It might
Coast.
have been where I found them all. Did you watch what was it? C Lab 2021 or whatever the hell that
It was
was?
2021, yeah.
Yeah,
that
was a funny ass show too, man.
Yeah, they really did kind of take the piss out of all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons, especially Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. I mean, they had an episode where, I mean, literally, I think Hanna-Barbera had a character called Ding-a-ling.
Had what?
They had a dog character called Ding-a-ling, and there was an episode of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, where some porn tycoon had stolen his name and opened a website. So they kind of ran with that joke.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Or there was the Scooby-Doo episode where they had fled from the police. They basically really laid on the whole plot references.
Shadowhawk in 1982. How many issues of this did you buy?
That's a cool cover.
Oh, at least one. I know I got
Al
one.
Williamson. Yeah. I mean, I bought multiples in my first collection. Now I think I
Marv
actually had
Wolfman, right?
Marv Wolfman on the writing, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Walt Simonson cover and interiors on this project.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, Walt did a nice cover there. I like that one.
Nice wraparound.
Yeah. Yes.
Wasn't there an unreleased Teen Titans story that Marv finally put out?
Ooh, I don't know. If there is, I'd like to read it. I was a big Titans fan back in the day.
Titans is one of the best books to come from the late, early 80s, late 70s, 79, 80.
Yeah, it looked like it was a fun read.
Bar none. Dirty,
Yeah,
dirty. We're going to have pork chops tonight.
Swedish chef getting serious there.
Yeah.
He's got to kick him right in the Swedish meatballs.
Oh, Shirley Birdie.
Burgy. Tron was released 43 years ago today, a groundbreaking blend of concept and digital effects, and a film that launched the career of actor Jeff Bridges. The story of how it came to be is thrilling. As thrilling as a light cycle, it says. I love the original Tron, and the remake really wasn't that bad,
It was actually a sequel, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't a remake.
Mm-hmm. It was all right.
A sequel,
I like the first movie a lot better. I think it was right for its time, They waited too long to do the sequel.
Yeah, it didn't really hit the same, did it?
Yeah.
No.
They're making a third one. It's supposed to be like where they've invaded the real world or something.
Tron had those early graphics
I could be wrong.
I saw the trailer.
Like Shadowhawk. One movie that doesn't need to be upgraded or anything, although you could very well. Last Starfighter. That's a great.
I love that one too. I remember
Yeah,
watching.
good.
It's a great premise for a movie.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
I was late to the party on that one. It took me a long time to actually get around to watching that. I was like,
there's a
oh, this is actually
there's
good.
a bunch of obscure movies that most people haven't heard of.
I don't know. I've always watched like B movies and shit like that for years, man. So I've been all the
you would always
Toxic
run
Avenger
across.
movies and the
There you
Puppet
go,
Master,
Timothy
all that
Olsen,
kind of
Jack
shit.
Kirby, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh wow!
Oh shit! Look
Yeah.
there. That's definitely a Kirby turtle hand. Look at that shit.
Mhm.
When did he do that?
Late in his career before he died,
Well, I hope it was before he died. Otherwise, that baby should
Yeah,
be worth a lot more.
I think he passed away in '94, so this would have been toward the end of his career. I'm not exactly sure when he did this.
I find it
particular
pretty
piece.
funny that his last book that he ever made was an Image comic book.
Was it?
Yeah, Phantom Force.
Yeah. Was it Phantom Force? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was also doing those Topps comics at that time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's when Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld and Jim. Who was the X-Men artist? The DC guy? Jim Lee, yeah. Jim Lee. They all got to ink Kirby before he passed away, for covers on those Topps comics.
That's neat. Yeah, Rob and Todd McFarlane were pretty good friends with Stan Lee.
He needs to sell this on eBay. Look at this.
Oh, look at that. Looks like a dinosaur skull.
Uh-huh. He needs to sell that on eBay. I bet he could.
Thank you so much. You are welcome, Terry. And
I bet somebody would buy it.
Wait,
Of course.
that could be a Lord Raptor Jesus thing. You get a hold of him and say, hey, you could have raptor bread.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, here you go. I don't know where this is, but that's cool. Yancey Street, Jack Kirby Way.
Jack Kirby White. Nice.
Maybe it's saying Fantastic
guessing
Four, so
it's in New
maybe
York,
that's in the movie. I guess
Oh.
that's in the movie.
Yeah, it's probably in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
is it not too far from Stanley Boulevard?
probably. Yeah.
Is that the four tower in the background there? Is that what that was supposed to be? Kind of had the shape of a four going on there to it.
Yeah, it was that was the I don't know if that I hope
I don't know. I want
they
to see that one. I want to see Superman too. But man, I'm not getting my hopes up for either one of them.
I mean Fantastic Four I think will be a little better, but I mean I said earlier in the earlier stream that you could probably do just as well watching the stuff on YouTube, the AI created stuff. It's probably going to be more enjoyable than the new Fantastic Four movie because I mean the thing talks like this or whatever. The thing
he?
needs
No,
thing,
he's got an Italian accent. I mean,
or whatever it is. It does
It's
not
a
fit the
proper
character.
time, Mamma mia.
yeah, they're kind of like trying to Italian him up. He's doing there's a scene with him making pasta sauce or something and shit. Him and Johnny
Got some
shooting the
stones
shit.
and that's with me.
Why
Why-
hasn't Ruby Spears? Why hasn't anybody approached Ruby Spears to do a Thunder the Barbarian movie, a dystopian future, or a Commandy movie? Because it's all kind of, in the future, the Earth's downfall. Of course, in Thundar, a comet comes close in between the moon and the Earth and cracks the moon in half. If something actually like that happened, it would probably destroy the Earth, right? And there was a giant upheaval. And of course, in the story, sort of magic comes about. That's the kind of female character. And
I
Thundar has
wonder
the
when will
sun sword.
Michael Bay get around to destroying the GoBots? I want a Michael Bay GoBots movie,
That might be kind of fun, just to watch them
or
destroy them.
or maybe a Michael Bay Rock Lords movie.
One of Omer Glitch's
Street Fighter.
recent Groot that he did.
That's a good one.
Groot.
I am Groot.
Yes.
I want to see Groot team up with Timmy from South Park.
The little baby Groot was cute in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Probably a little too cute.
Could you imagine the dialogue scenes? It'd be like, "I am Groot, Timber. I am Groot, Timber."
Okay, Shadowhawk, I know you'll like this one.
Oh yeah. The best Miss Marvel.
And she actually looks sexy there,
Hell yeah.
This shaved hair, SJW stuff that they've got in the movies, forget it. Doesn't
Yeah.
interest me. Puts me
Boring.
off on her completely.
No, but that if I want my Miss Marvel, I want the long blonde hair and the tight black suit, buddy. Big black boots.
What's
Yeah.
that one character? It's like something Khan or something like that. She's supposed to be Miss Marvel or something. Is that her name? I don't know. Hey,
I'm
a
sorry,
robot.
which one, Tim?
The recent one. Hold on, let me go Google that.
I want to ride my bicycle, 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 bicycle.
Oh,
bicycle race.
God, I can't think of the name of it.
It's Kamala Khan.
Kamala.
Just the
I just think it'd be great if she could team up with Captain Kirk. So I'd be like,
Right.
Khan!
gun.
She gonna punch him with a big old fist. And that her the one that's got like the stretchy hands or whatever.
Yeah. You can like double punch her.
Stupid ass power.
There you go.
Well,
What happened to
crazy
Batman? It
perspective on that one.
Looks like he's deflating.
I hope Frank Miller doesn't see this. He'll really take this and run.
It looks like one of those those little inflatable sock things they have at a car dealership.
I don't think Frank even cares anymore at this point. He's just like, just pay me. I'll draw you something.
Only Robert Crumb, only R. Crumb could make a book out of his sex obsessions.
Yeah, that guy was a freak, I think.
He's a little freaky.
Yeah, but I guess it's what made him legendary.
Yeah, but I mean, Ralph actually made some killer movies in the 70s out of, based on R. Crumb stuff.
That's what I heard.
Aaron Lepresti says only 2 backers away from 1,100 backers on Wraith of God 3. Fear
Cool.
Hollow.
Nice. All right. Way to go, ain't wrong.
Let
Double
me
A.
go over there and see if he got his 2 backers. Those guys can go, oh, we're so close, and they'll people be lining up. Yeah, they got it. 1,100 backers. $80,797 on Indiegogo.
All right.
Wraith of God 3.
Way to
And
go,
I have
double
not
A.
backed that one yet.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm gonna have to double check though.
I got the checkup tier on.
Didn't he have a I'm trying to remember who did a cover for him on that one. I don't think it was Dale.
I can look.
Somebody.
I can look.
You're gonna bring
I can
up
make it
his-
easy on you. I can look.
Yeah, we can bring up his campaign.
Yeah.
See if I can remember
Or
what I
can do
backed.
that. Sure.
This is weird.
Oh, you're wanting to remember what you backed? Okay.
I'm trying. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure. When I see the cover, I'll know because I always back the. He does one that looks like a throwback to the old Marvel, like Fear
Right.
Comics and stuff. I usually back that one first, and then I'll go back and back it again if I can.
Well, if he's got this one. This one almost looks like Lord Pumpkin, or
Yeah.
the character he used to do. Okay, here's one that's kind of like an EC,
Yep.
horror.
I think I got that one.
Yeah. And this one here.
I love EC Comics.
And then this one's the Marvel cover looking one. Yep, I got that one. So I backed it twice then. All right, cool.
And is this one here? Maybe. Well, I really like this on just the
I'm not
coloring.
sure who did that one. That's nice.
Cover.
It must have been a newer one. I don't remember seeing this.
This is a guest artist painted cover by Chris Stevens. I really like the painting on this one.
Okay.
That's very nice.
Same quality. That's my phone.
Yeah.
I've been liking Aaron's Rate to God series so far. I got the first two, so I had to get the third.
Yeah, did you get the shot glass? Because he does a shot glass, right?
Mm-hmm.
With every campaign.
Yep.
Shot glass number 4, the nightclub. Shot glass, $12.
Oh, I didn't get the shot glass this time because the first time he did them, you get the same shot glass on the second campaign as you did on the first. He didn't change them up.
Oh, did you not know that?
Oh, no, that's why I didn't buy the one on the second one because I already had it. I don't need a bunch of shot glasses laying around. I mean, they're cool, but
yeah.
But I didn't realize that on this third one he had switched it up to a new shot glass. So I would have probably backed one. I might still if I can squeeze it in. I think he said he might be ending that thing pretty soon because he's going to start
fulfillment.
I think he said he's pretty close to getting it finished.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah. Oh, mama.
Johnny Bravo, Duke Nukem, and
that was a funny ass cartoon.
I think that's Wesker from Resident Evil.
One of those red sport cups. Love that hair.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was a pretty good cartoon.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Another good one was The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. The oldest one we got at home now, but back when she was probably 10 or so, that was on, and she used to love that show. That and what was the little purple dog and the old man? Courage, the Cowardly Dog. That show was out there, bro.
I didn't watch that one.
You're Frank.
It was pretty good. It's kind of weird though.
You're Frank Frazetta Conan of the day.
Oh, there you go.
Feel my axe. Split your head into.
Crush your enemies, and here's the lamenting of their women.
Must be pretty cold in there.
The women. Yes, of the women.
The size of that nipple. Oh my God.
You could do it in Boris and Natasha too, Haven't watched one of those cartoons in a while. Hey, ho, ho, ho. Now on Indiegogo, Mike Barron says, with the Nexus Deluxe hardcover omnibus, $11,338.
Dude, that thing's like, what is it, 842 pages or 850? It's some ridiculous amount.
500 well, maybe, let's see.
I think it was over 800 pages.
Got a soft cover or a hard cover of it.
What's that baby going for anyway?
880 pages.
There you go. Yes, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, 880 pages on that thing. Over there on Indiegogo. 440 full comic sheets. Yeah, and they're running it, I think, probably on all 3 platforms. I'm not sure.
I
I
think they
saw
are.
him
Yeah,
do that.
I think Mike said they were going to run it on Fun My Comic as well once the Indiegogo. Or it might be there now. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I know that Leviathan ran on all 3, and it was interesting to see Fund My Comic, and I mean, there was another one that I looked at. Well, I've seen Fund My Comic outperform Fund My Comic. I've seen it outperform Indiegogo on different. So
Yeah,
it just
depending on.
depends, you know,
And I think
on the
Fun My
project and the
Comic is
creator.
getting a lot more attention lately. Some of it bad because of fucking Rippleverse bullshit, but that's all right. I mean, it's
Well,
getting
I see,
a lot more eyes. And let's say I had a Homer Glitch and LZ. What's up, Els?
hey guys, like you were saying, at one time, Shadow, it was kind of a no not to go to Kickstarter, but I'm seeing more people go to Kickstarter.
It is what it is, man. I don't hold anybody to it. I mean, the reason I don't support Kickstarter is because of the way they treated people in early CG.
Right.
They fucked with John. They fucked with a couple other people.
And you don't
My
like how they
my
take
buddy.
out with the money and
Well,
stuff.
even Vinny Tardamella, fucking, he's never even claimed to be
What do you mean what they
CG.
did with the
He
money?
don't get along with Ethan, but I love his art and he does good stuff. And
Right.
Kickstarter let fucking somebody run a clone like up to $53,000 on that fucking thing before they took it down. He had to threaten them with legal action before they would take it down. Somebody cloned his whole campaign and was running it on Kickstarter. Some guy out of fucking Italy or some shit.
All right, let's check out the let's chop this thing up and let's check out the
Mike would be so disappointed.
no, let's deal with it.
I'm just eating.
This probably got some of that Steve Rude animated in it. Love it. There's some of that animation. So good.
Bro, Steven's been trying to get this animation out for years now, man. I wish
35
somebody
years.
would.
Over 35 years now.
One of these goddamn studios needs to just have faith in the boys. I mean, come on, man. They should have proved themselves by now.
I think they want creative control. Maybe they don't think it would go anywhere. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I missed it, Timothy. Don't worry about it, man. It's all good.
No
Here's
problem.
some images you might want to put in your hallway, Shadowhawk.
Alrighty. What you got? That's pretty cool.
I like the colors.
Oh, is this a
Skip
particular
one, I just
artist,
had
or
to-
is this just like blacklight poster stuff?
I have to check.
Hmm.
There is an artist on here that I often show his stuff because it is sort of
It
the
looks like
colors
very
are like
almost heavy metal animation
yeah.
kind of
Oh yeah.
style. Pretty cool.
Brutal
yeah, that shit would
Basics.
look great in my blacklight hallway, man.
Brutal
Hell yeah.
Basics. I'm not even sure if I follow him, but I'm going to follow
Brutal
him after
Basics.
that. There we go.
All right, nice. Yeah, I'm
Brutal
gonna have to check
Basics. I
him out.
wasn't even following him, but that's good stuff.
But
Brutal Basics.
where'd you find him? X or YouTube or?
On X, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to,
I
check
can drop
it
his
out.
link in the chat or in the private chat, or I can send it to you, whatever.
The chat won't replay later, and then I'll have to pop out to.
Right. Well, we need to figure that out. How can
I'll
we
find
get
it.
chat to replay for us?
That's on your end, dude. You got to do that in your YouTube studio. You got to actually.
Okay.
You have to record I think your StreamYard to YouTube, and then when people watch a replay, they can actually see the live chat. It's, so they can see what was being chatted about
So
and
it's
the
in my
links and stuff.
settings. In
Yeah.
my settings.
Should be in there somewhere.
Okay. Here's another piece by him.
I don't know how to do it. Oh, hello.
Oh. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Brutal Basics
hello
here.
there.
Here's
What's up,
one.
better?
Mermaid there. Not so light reactive as the others. Ooh,
No, still, I like those
soft as
that cool
steel.
blues and greens. That's pretty neat.
Oh, this is a book he ordered. Julie Bell. Oh, yeah, she's good. She did some of those Marvel,
Oh
cards.
she did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It wasn't her. It was the other chick. Was that Olivia something? She ended up. Forget who the painter was. It wasn't Frazetta. I think it was Joe Jusko or somebody. Or no. Who's the other big fantasy painter guy besides Frazetta back in the day? Boris Vallejo. She married
Yeah.
Boris just so that
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, so she could learn how to paint better. And then as soon as she got her art to where she wanted it, she divorced his ass.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, it turned out she was a big old lesbian.
Oh, gosh. Really? Julie Bell?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
No, not Julie Bell, the other brother, that Olivia. You remember she used to do all the painted stuff back before Julie Bell got famous. She was the big, like, girl fantasy painter back in the early 90s.
Olivia.
All I know was the first name was Olivia. I forget what the last name was.
Oh,
But yeah, she married Boris for I think they were married for 7 or 8 years or something until she learned his painting techniques and shit, and then she dumped.
Wow. Didn't see that one coming.
I don't think Boris saw it coming. She is a hottie too, dude. She was really good looking lady, but apparently playing for the other team the whole time.
That's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a mole in the operation.
Action figures and toy from the film produced by Tomy in the same year. 1982 Tron toys.
I don't think I got any of those.
That's neat though.
Yeah.
It's like a clear plastic, figure, like in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always liked the translucent ones. Like the Micronauts used to do those.
Yeah, I like the translucent ones. I've got a premium. It doesn't move, okay, but it's a serial premium of Obi-Wan in his astral form.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Sort of blue,
where he's kind of see through.
Yeah, see through. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did those. That's kind of neat.
1993, The Diary of Heather Swain, cover by.
I even got one of PTP's stupid little Johnny Phantasm translucent figures before he jumped ship.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes out with Johnny Phantasm, are you going to back it again, or?
Dude, I finally got in my. I ordered the whole box set on his last campaign before he fucking lost his mind, and it took 2.5 years. I finally just got it a month ago. I opened it up and looked at it, and I was like, "Well, fuck!" I would have been happy to have this 2 years ago. Now I don't even give a shit. It's still in the box.
Marvel has announced X-Men Age of Revelation, a new status quo for the X-Men that takes them 10 years into the future. Here's also brand new titles we are going to get. So here's the cover first. X-Men, it begins here. That looks like Art Adams cover. At least the front of it does.
Okay, what? All right, why has Wolverine got no face anymore? It's just adamantium now.
Set 10
And
years in the
Beast is
future,
a.
brother. Set 10
Ow.
years in the
What
future.
is it? Is this going to be the new stuff?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that shit back in the day where they made Wolverine
Yeah,
and then
you're thinking of something Age.
Age of Apocalypse or something, right?
Age of Apocalypse, yeah.
And Beast got all like more bestial and shit. And
Here's the titles: Amazing X-Men, Unbreakable X-Men. What's that other one?
good lord.
Read that. The Lost Wolverine, Binary. Oh boy, what a title!
These
Binary.
are all X titles that they're currently doing?
Yeah, the Age of Revelation, the X thing will be featured in all these X Avengers.
Oh, God. See, this is exactly why I don't buy Marvel Comics anymore. That's what, 16 books you got to follow.
I know.
Just to read.
October 2025 on the X books. That's what's coming out in October.
Such bullshit. That's just milking your customers because nobody's collecting Iron Fist. Nobody's fucking, you know.
And there was Iron Frost. Iron Frost, not Iron Fist. Iron Frost.
Oh,
yeah.
So
and not
Iron
long
Fist
shot, long shots. You know, plural, long shots.
Oh, good God, man. See? They're still.
Just make sure you hit the bucket. Now, that's pretty cool. You know, if it was showing the adamantium, skull for his face.
Yeah, I mean,
like maybe some way it didn't regenerate for some reason. I don't know, but that would be.
That's what I'm wondering is why didn't his skin grow back? But I'm sure there's some reason. Right.
Maybe he's trying to hide his identity after decades of everybody knowing.
Yeah, walking around as Logan. Like, nobody knows who you are now. But I mean, he looks kind of cool with just the steel face. But he got Colossus in the group already. Do you really want two guys with metal faces? I don't know. What do I know?
Wow, I've never seen this. The final picture of Buffalo Bill Cody a few days before his death on January 10th, 1917.
Exactly, Elsie. That's how I feel too.
Buffalo Bill Cody a few days before he died.
1917.
Really? Yeah.
Wow.
The final picture.
Yeah, because he did that Wild West show for quite a while at the end of the cowboy days.
Yeah, he did that big Wild West show. Yeah. I didn't know that he lived up into 1917. Wow.
I didn't know he lived that long. I knew he lived like till the 60s.
That's a great piece. Look at that.
Ooh.
It's almost like the Statue of Liberty or like some Valkyrie or something. You got the little people.
Yeah, it looks like a Valkyrie with like her wings on her helmet, like melted and shit. Or iced over or something.
Well, I mean, I've got to wonder, and it looks like Twin Towers in the back. Is this supposed to be Statue of Liberty?
I mean,
or a riff on that,
maybe, I mean, she is, rising up out of the water.
Yeah, and it looked like the Twin Towers back there. Well,
they kind of did, yeah. It's an interesting theme choice, I guess,
Now,
I mean, you latched onto that right away. I didn't see it really until you mentioned it.
The next Rex, well, I can see it bigger than you can, for one thing.
Well, probably, yeah.
Rex Hex and Apex show will be on this channel first Saturday of next month. And we may have Edwin on. I haven't approached him yet, but Hex kind of recommended, if you don't have anybody lined up, how about Edwin Acevedo? It's like, yeah,
There you go.
I'm down with that. I'm cool with that.
Dude, he just posted something today, a new Ace picture. I'm not sure who drew it or whatever, but fucking badass version of the Ace. Really, one of the nicer ones I've seen so far, actually.
Do you remember the Mad Painter on Sesame Street? I'd forgotten about him.
The Mad Painter.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like this one,
I
he comes up
remember
out
the
of the
guy that
water.
used to do the drawings on Giggle Snort Hotel all the time. Oh yeah,
Like,
okay, I remember this guy.
He's gonna paint on the back of the bald man's head. See,
Right? Yeah.
the number 8.
It would be
ball.
well, like whatever the number of the day was or whatever. Yeah, you just pop up and.
Yeah.
Yeah, vaguely I have memories of that guy.
I totally forgot about the Mad Painter in Sesame Street.
Yeah, I
It's
did
been
too.
a while since I've seen the show. Oh man, memory unlock. I never had this, but I would have loved it.
The pizza,
Make
mini
your own
pizza.
little
Oh
mini
hell yeah, that's
pizza.
not. It was like a easy bake oven, but for boys.
Right. I mean, it was things like this, or like the Pepsi dispenser, or something like that. You would continually have to buy the product. Not so much with the Pepsi. You'd have to get a 2-liter of Pepsi. And you could do any 2-liter with that. But I mean, if you wanted it to be, what it said. But now this, you would have to get the fixins, right? You'd have to.
Well, you can always make your own pizza dough, and buy pepperoni and some sauce and what have you.
Right. I mean, it says refill paddle plus 2 pans, mixes for 24 little pizzas, 2 pounds, $5.99. That's not too,
I mean, yeah, you can make, good for a little start, but yeah, you'd have to, have your own recipe for pizza dough and stuff to make that one. I bought one for the kids back in the day. We still got it around here somewhere. It's the Snoopy on the doghouse, and you put the ice in there, and it's got the little shaver, so you can make your own slushies at home. So all you got to do is add, Coke or Pepsi or whatever kind of juice you want to it to give it some flavor, and you can make little at-home slushies for the kids.
Yeah, I did those, and we actually had a soda thing, that would carbonate soda, but we drank so many of them. It's like, yeah, we took it on a trial basis.
One of them Soda Stream things when they came out, where you had to carbonate it at home. Creepy crawlers, yes, I remember those. I got burned many a time cooking creepy crawlers in my room.
Oh, I love the creepy crawler. This is a sculptor. Check that out.
Wow.
So this is all part of a cape for the what is that? The Monkey King? Monkey King.
The monkey guy?
Yeah, the monkey guy.
Monkey King.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I mean, because you turn that nice piece of wood just like it is, and then
that's cool, dude.
The Monkey King in there. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I mean, I'd sell that thing for
I'm sure
$1.
I'm sure he's gonna make a nice amount of money off that piece.
You could probably get $1,500 for something that nice,
Oh shit, easy. I would think.
Yeah. And really, most of it is just the natural wood, and
Still,
they took advantage of that.
Beautiful. What's up, buddy?
The mug shot of 19-year-old Phyllis Steinnaker, who was arrested in 1944 for being a weed head and a tramp.
I'm a shrimp. Oh my.
Weed head and tramp. You know,
All right.
she's probably someone's mother or grandmother by now. Come on, folks.
Yeah, can't escape the internet.
You're right. Yeah. And once it's out there,
Well,
it's out there.
he's hooked. He's hooked. His brain is cooked.
All right. You know, Mike Barron will post things from time to time, like vehicles. There you go.
Oh, it's cool little right there. I drive that.
Yeah,
around.
that's probably a concept truck, right?
No, somebody custom. They chopped that thing, dude. That
Okay.
used to be
All right.
something, and they chopped it into a custom.
Okay.
That's a shorty, bro. Look at that.
It is a shorty. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they
tiny
chopped
little El
it down.
Camino. Yeah, it's fucking cool.
It's not good.
No, I don't.
Oh, they made it
But it's the whatever it was. They turned it into a tiny little 2-door with a truck bed on the back. Fucking neat. Could have been an old Subaru or something like a Brat, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, I did not know this. You probably never knew this either. There we go. There's the portrait of her. I'll show you the portrait first.
Mm.
Probably never seen this. I know I never have.
I have no idea who it's supposed to be, but yeah.
That is, I'm getting ready to tell you, that is Sarah Knox Taylor. Lived 1814 to 1835. Daughter of President Zachary Taylor, the 12th president of the United States.
Oh,
She
why would I
married-
fucking-
She married another president, the president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis,
Oh,
in 1835. She died of malaria 3 months later. So
well,
very
that's what
brief
she gets
life.
for joining the wrong side.
That's yeah.
I'm sure her father was still proud. Good Lord. What they're doing out here. They're tearing something up. And Timothy muted, man. I don't know what happened to Timothy. He's still here.
He's probably gaseous and farting a lot. I thought I would just,
Oh no, I'm
you
still
know,
here.
just a guess.
Oh, Elsie was just looking for him and said, I haven't heard Timothy.
Oh, I'm here. There's just some conversations I choose not to get involved with.
Ah.
So now that
Yeah,
I got
I'm
creepy crawlies and
fading
parts,
fast here anyway, so I think I'm going to give it about another 15. I'm going to head out of here, right?
but I'm all ears now that they're talking about creepy crawlies and farts.
Pencils down, lead idle. If you haven't signed up for it, here is in the chat is the link for that. Justin Belmont's latest.
Mhm.
Pencils down. The first issue will be fulfilling, I'm sure, very soon.
Hey,
And you'll be-
$300. They have an even more disappointing BTM background character appearance.
Oh, bro, I think I told you yesterday I got my tracking number for my Mighty Mascot, finally. I'm getting all the little figures and everything coming.
Welcome to the show, Mark R. Largent. Now we get to find out how was the Superman movie.
Hey, is my camera not working?
Nope.
Yeah, you're doing blackface. That's not a good look, bro.
Yeah,
Why
you
is it not
racist.
working?
I don't know. I'm not the technician around here. I never claimed to be.
Let me stop cam.
Well,
There we
Lordy,
go.
Mark, I don't know why it's not working.
So, Mark,
No, I just
Oh,
turned
no,
it
everybody's
it's a
on.
puppet.
wondering.
Okay, so my verdict is
Hey,
that I
Edwin.
really liked the movie. Now, I think there's a chance that you might have to be me to really like the movie. So
Mhm.
I'm going to put it out there that I love the Silver Age and the Bronze Age. and even John Byrne's reboot. That was my period of reading Superman comics. This movie to me felt like I was reading a comic, and not that it was super comic accurate or anything. It's just that for me as a kid reading a comic, I didn't get them on a regular basis. So you would get a comic, you'd take it home, you'd be in the middle of whatever it was. They would, of course, let you know who people were as you were going or whatever. But there was this idea that, especially because I was a big DC guy, is, they've been going for 40 years or something like that. So they had, it was issue number 200 something or 300 something. There was this past that was sort of briefly mentioned in editors' boxes, see issue number 300 or whatever. And it was still going. So to me, this is what this felt like. You start the movie, if they have a little bit of text that kind of comes up and says, like metahumans showed up 300 years ago. Kal-El was rocketed to Earth 30 years ago. 3 years ago, he became Superman. And then it basically says, 3 minutes ago, Superman got beaten to a pulp. And so you start out that whole thing they show in the trailers where he crashes into the Arctic. That's how the movie starts, and you start right in the middle of it. They don't stop to tell you anything about Krypton. They don't do any of that. You're just right in the middle of the movie. You got Guy Gardner, you got Hawkgirl, you got Mr. Terrific. All these people are just there. There's no it felt like reading a comic book. And it wasn't afraid to do stuff that I've spent my whole life watching superhero movies not do, because it's too comic booky. He fights a giant monster. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Lex Luthor in this is a super scientist that wants to kill Superman. He's not, it's not a business thing, really. It's not the thing. He's ferocious. He's easily the most evil Lex Luthor that I've seen in a movie. I think all the cast is great. There was no point where I thought about who the actors were. They just were the characters. Even I would say that this guy is the best Jimmy Olsen we've had in a
really? Okay.
He actually has stuff to do, and they comment on the fact, Jimmy Olsen. We think of him as this sort of nerdy guy, but Jimmy Olsen was kind of like Archie. For no reason made any sense. The girls loved Jimmy Olsen. Remember, he was dating Lucy Lane, Lois's sister,
right.
and Supergirl was in love with Jimmy Olsen too. So they bring that back. So Jimmy's not just this golly Mr. Kent guy. He actually has some stuff to do. I thought the girl who played Lois was great. And the one that surprised me the most, I stopped reading comics on a serious basis in the early to mid 90s, probably mid 90s. And I would come back every once in a while, but I never felt like I was connected to it because so much had happened in between. So I don't know the character Mr. Terrific. I've seen him, but I wasn't reading comics when he.
Oh, it's simple. He was a milestone character. DC bought up an entire universe of black characters, shelved most of them except for Static Shock and Mr. Terrific.
Yeah. Well, I think DC was connected to Milestone somehow, but But yeah, so I don't know the character. He was probably one of the big standouts. Um, I don't know though, because I'm watching this and I'm loving all of this, and I'm thinking, I don't know if my mom would like this though, because mom was not interested. Mom was not interested in me telling her about comics. So is this, and you give me Superman robots and even crypto and all that kind of stuff, I eat all that up. That was part of all of the fun as a kid with the idea of Superman, is all these cool things and stuff. So, and he even refers to the
All
Superman
the member
robots as
berries.
Superman robots. I wouldn't call them member berries because they're not done the same way. But if I don't, if you did an Andy Griffith show and Barney was in it, I wouldn't call that a member. That's what's
Right.
supposed to be there. And we've never had a Superman movie do that aspect of Superman. They've always tried to
Now,
play it placed in the real world.
They have, what was his name? Pete somebody. It was kind of like, Smallville friend.
Oh, Pete
to-
Ross? No, they didn't. The only people we see from Smallville are Ma and Pa Kent, and
Okay.
and it was
Let me
really. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just saying bye to LT, so he had to go.
Oh, I go. But the Ma and Pa Kent look more like people from Kansas or rural America than they've ever looked. There's a great little bit. I don't want to do too many spoilers things, but there's a great little bit where Ma Kent is trying to talk to Clark on her phone on FaceTime, and she has it like down on the table, and she's leaning over, talking too loud into it because she doesn't understand it. So they were good people of the earth people, but yeah, I don't know. I've heard, I know some people, don't like any fun in their superheroes. They want them deadly serious and all that kind of stuff. I'm not that guy. So
I
like
just
I
don't
said,
like cornball.
see, I love cornballs. So for me, they could have gone and taken a comic from the 50s or 60s, made it as a movie, and I would have loved it. But no, I'm going to be. I'm looking to see.
Wait, they kind of
Oh, there's
did,
my
Joe.
camera.
They kind of did. It was called Tales from the Crypt.
No, but that wasn't a Superman movie, though.
Oh, but it was a
And
it was
that was
it was a
that was
comic
from
book
the-
from the 50s though.
Yeah. I did get my my Superman cup.
Oh, you did.
Actually,
Yeah.
that is kind of cool to collect. I mean, I'm not even a Superman fan, and I'd like to have that.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
cool.
well-
The popcorn bucket wasn't cool. It was like a Daily Planet newspaper. I always called them the newspaper box or whatever, but it opens up at the front and where you would get out a newspaper and the popcorn
Yeah.
goes in. But so that's my take on it. I definitely want to see it again. I felt like I was watching. I mean, who was expecting to get Metamorpho or any of those characters?
Oh, there
And-
was Metamorpho. Wow.
And he
Now,
was,
are you excited about the Fantastic Four movie?
Yes, I'm also very excited about that, and I love the fact that it's retro. So I'm
Retro.
hoping, yeah, I'm hoping that that they don't pull one of those things where they give us this retro thing and then they turn around and tell us how it was terrible the way people were treated back in the. I'm hoping that they just have fun with it. But no, I'm all for it. This is like pure joy for Silver Age fans getting this Superman movie and Fantastic Four. But like I said, I remember when Man of Steel came out, and even more specifically, Batman v Superman.
Now that
That
movie I liked. It was
Yeah. But I remember lamenting the fact that I couldn't take my 6 and 8-year-old nephews to see Superman v Batman. You finally, after all this time, you have a movie with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and you can't take a kid to it because it's grim and violent and stuff. So,
what
like I
was it
said,
rated?
I believe it was PG-13.
Oh yeah, so and they were what 7 and 8.
Yeah, 6 and 8.
Yeah,
So
PG-13 is kind of like strong word of caution here.
well, but this
There's nothing
Super
gory or bloody, but it's still
Yeah.
you know.
This Superman movie is PG-13, but I wouldn't have a problem taking a kid to see.
Now, did Metamorpho kind of look like the character that's in the
He
comics?
looked exactly like the character, even having the different quadrants or whatever. And there's a point, I don't want to get into too much, but he uses them, and you see them in states where you used to see them, because parts of them could turn into gas and all kinds of stuff and liquids, and they have them. I think you can see it in the trailer, but the reason why they have him is Lex has forced him to he can turn one of his hands into kryptonite.
Oh.
So but it's definitely like you get dropped into this world. It's going on there.
No, okay, good. So, I don't mean to interrupt. Continue giving your review.
No, I was just saying that it's a different experience. And the original Superman movie, I think it takes 45 minutes before Superman shows up. It's
Are we talking about the Chris Reeve Superman? Or
yeah, the Superman the
something
movie.
earlier?
Yeah. So this one assumes that that there was a story and just drops you in the middle of it, which, like I said, was like reading a comic. It wasn't, back in the day, it was rare to get number ones. You had most, Action and Superman and Batman and Detective, all these were in the hundreds in their issue number by the time you.
As somebody who's heard enough Golden Age comics, I don't think I'd find that movie interesting, because I found the plots to a lot of the Golden Age comics to be moronic. Because they were like, because it's like watching a B movie. This happened. Don't worry about how it happened. It just happened.
Well, the comics were, especially in the Silver Age, the reading age was 9 to 12, I think. The idea was you'd go from picture books to comics to prose books. So there was only a period of like 3 years that you were supposed to be reading comics. So they were written for 10-year-olds, basically. But the imagination was there. And I don't know. Like I said, you might not be the right audience for it. I'm the right audience, so I enjoyed it.
Well, I know that you were going to give it a. Now, there's also Ultra, whatever, in the black suit, the character.
Ultraman, yeah.
Ultraman, yeah, which is kind of like an alternative Superman, right? An evil Superman from another.
Wouldn't that be Bizarro?
Universe, really?
Isn't Bizarro the kind of the reverse Superman?
No,
Superman. Bizarro was an imperfect clone of Superman, but I was going to show. This came today. Finally, I ordered this in December of 2023. It's the Neil Adams DC Classics Artist Edition.
Wow!
It's got a ton of his Batman work, a ton of his Green Lantern, Deadman, even stuff from House of Mystery and stuff.
Is it entire stories or is it like sketches?
So it's pages and covers with these artist editions. What they do is they photograph the original art and print it in color, even though it looks like black and white. But you can see all the lines, and they they reproduce it at actual size.
Right.
So you can see a lot of these classic
Oh,
covers and
nice.
stuff with all the markups. You can
I
see
really love that
wide
original
up.
Batman logo.
Yeah,
For some reason,
I
it
do
just
too.
seems right.
Is
But,
that the one with the wrapping cape around the?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the detective
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was detective. Yeah.
But there's one of the classic Green Lantern, Green Arrows. And so it's funny
Right.
because a lot of these, are from famous things, but like in some cases, if the word balloon was glued on, it's fallen off. And I was going to see there's a couple of awesome things. There's one is the illustration for the wraparound Treasury edition, the Batman one. See if I can.
Yeah, you get the old cement glue yellowing marks.
Yes, yeah, and depending on how they were kept, like I mean, here's an instance where you can actually see.
The
These things are
dialogue.
hard to.
Yeah,
You
actual
can see.
size. Yeah,
Yeah, it's heavy, but
they're heavy.
you can actually see on that panel at the bottom there. You can see the pencil lines for the lettering, the blue lines. But so it's fun. Obviously, if you're extremely wealthy, you can buy original art, but
Right. Which it's
I am not. So
only just gotten more and more and more and more expensive.
oh yeah, yeah, and so being able to study it and just look at it and see where, because it's amazing. And so you might recognize this. I'm thinking, I haven't looked to see, but I think this may be an unused cover design because it's in pencil. The one with Aquaman, it's a Brave and the Bold. So I wonder if that's one that he just didn't do.
It may be one. Often they
Was
they
it a
might do
rejected
two
cover?
versions. One might be, or you need to redo this. Yeah, it might be unused.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think it's a rejected one.
I'm surprised they don't tell you that in the notes somewhere.
They probably do. I haven't gone through
Okay.
the forward and stuff, and there are a table of contents that kind of take you through some. Oh, this is
Help you
one of
navigate through it.
one of Neil's greatest Batman
Oh yeah.
illustrations.
Mhm.
I wonder if he did. How long did he do the Batman comics?
He was.
I don't know. He worked
kinda
on
like
them in the early
off and on.
'70s. Yeah,
Because I
And then
had, because I had one where obviously they were trying to kind of put in elements of the 1989 Batman into the Batman comic book. But I had one where it was the Joker was wearing the trench coat, and he had the Tommy gun, and he was shooting at these bats on the cover. I never could find. I don't know what issue it is, and I couldn't find it. I don't know who worked on it.
Well,
it kind of reminds me of that Walt Simonson cover where there's like a stone Batman logo that spells out the words, and the Joker was on top with a Tommy gun shooting. That was a Walt Simonson cover that was amazing.
Oh, okay.
I remember. And
might be a Walt
he had
Simonson.
the Joker had the hat on, the big
Yeah.
sort of suit hat. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that
they're
one.
trying to make it a little more like the 1989 Batman because it was.
Well, this predated the Batman '89. That was in the mid '80s. But here's that. It is when they gatefold these things, it's really hard to get them. But that Treasury edition,
Mm-hmm.
and on the other side they have the art that went is pencil and wash art that went behind it of Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a different separate layer. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It was
yeah.
like it was behind it, and it was kind of screened.
Like pencil work, right? Uninked. It was almost like
Yeah,
a gray tone.
yeah. It was like a mix of pencils and wash. And in fact, I think I have. I don't know if I have the facsimile one or not.
Uh,
He disappeared.
Yeah, I've got the fac.
Oh my god, he turned invisible.
it's a share screen.
I mean, this is the foil facsimile
Yeah,
one,
I was gonna say,
but
did they make that one into a full? Yeah.
yeah,
That is
and
actually on that. That is actually kind of a cool cover there.
it really is, and it's a wraparound cover, and so you can see the two art pieces that combine. You see his hand
Mm-hmm.
is going on their side, and the ink dart was underneath it, which was really really cool.
Yeah,
I
I've been considering buying at least one of those because my local comic book shop has had, the larger, one or two there
yeah
all the time, different ones and at different times. And I'm like, I ought to buy one of those just to show people an example. Uh,
yeah.
big full cover on those, big
Well,
treasury
it's great
edition.
to see it in
Reprint.
full size, and you can see some of the craft. You can identify how they approach some of those things, and you're seeing them. Like I said, these are color photos, so you can see if something was whited out, or if they went backwards, or if they pasted something on. Um, and but for me, the other side of it really is nostalgia. So um, the I think I had probably one of the most visceral responses to the Dave Cockrum X-Men one, because every time I turned over to a cover, um, it took me back. And but I ended up I get the John Byrne X-Men, the Paul Smith X-Men, and the Jim Lee X-Men, and the Dave Cockrum X-Men. Um, but I think this may be the last of the IDW artist editions, because the guy who did them left and started his own company. He's got one coming out that's with Jim Aparo art, and I like Jim Aparo, but I didn't love
Uh-huh.
Jim Aparo.
Well, he certainly did enough Batman, especially Brave and the Bold.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he was one of the guys that they kept. They made Batman and the Outsiders so that he could still keep doing Batman. That is not one of the more classic Batman images.
Yeah, well, that's Prince. Of course, he did the
Yeah,
Bat Dance, for Batman
right. Which
1989.
according to lore, caused Tim Burton to curl up into a fetal position
I wouldn't doubt it.
because he
doubt
thought it was ruining. And you can even watch it. They had to retime the movie to match the beat of the song, so it has this weird, sort of sped up look to the scenes that are supposed to match up with the Joker dancing to it.
Could you imagine if Marvel had actually gotten the Punisher movie into theaters? Do you think they would have been able to go up against DC and their Batman movie? Because that's the reason why the Punisher movie was made in 1989. It was supposed to be so they could compete with the 1989 Batman.
Well, I'm trying to remember the chronology, because once Batman was a giant success, they tried to turn any comic book property into a movie. We got The Shadow. We got
That was more in the 90s, though.
well, Batman 89 was 89, so everything they did after that
Yeah.
was to try to capitalize on the success of that. And I want to say that I don't remember if the Punisher movie directly referenced the Batman one.
No,
There
but
was
that's
it was
why
Dolph Lundgren, right?
yeah, that's why they made it. But they goofed something up and it went directly to a video. It was supposed to be in theaters.
Mark,
Okay.
back in the
I
day, I
don't
don't know
remember
if
that.
I've ever asked you this, but you remember the Mago dolls that had real cloth
Yeah, the Mego dolls. I've got
costumes and
some
stuff?
of the
Mego. Did you
Star Trek
collect
ones up
those
there.
as a kid?
Yeah. Well, I didn't collect them. I got them as toys. Um,
Well,
I
this
think
is
I
the
had like
Fantastic
Captain
Four
America.
set, and they've got this at the Disney store for like 89.99.
Yeah, because they're like
And they're
20 bucks a
just
piece
like,
nowadays.
isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's They used to be
Um,
what, under $2, but at the Disney store, 4-pack of the
yeah.
Fantastic Four for
They
eighty-nine
came
ninety
remember they
nine.
came in those cardboard boxes and they were
Yeah.
like $2.99 or something like that. But I remember I had Hulk, I had Captain Marvel, the Shazam version. I had Captain America and Spider-Man. I had a few of them.
Yeah.
And if you the problem was that I was little enough of a kid that if you twirled the arm around, there was like an elastic band that held the arms and legs into the torso, and it would snap, and his arms and legs would fall off. That was my big memory. But I did. I went back recently and bought some of the original Star Trek Mego dolls
Yeah.
off
Now
of eBay.
I have all of those except for the Gorn. I've got a Klingon. I've got a Hura. Her hair's wild. It was wild out of the package. And I had some
Yeah.
of the Mego Planet of the Apes figures.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I never had any of the Marvel ones, which is kind of surprising, actually.
You know, the thing that always annoyed me is I never had Superman and Batman. Those were the two I wanted. I'd
Yeah.
end up getting, but those I guess would sell out or whatever. But anyways, I'd ask my mom, I'm like, I want Superman, I want Superman. She'd come back with, you know, the Incredible Hulk. And I was like, okay, that's good, but I really wanted Superman or Batman. And it's funny though, you look at the Batman and his gloves were like mitts.
Yeah.
You know, just had the thumb and a round part that went around his fingers. But no, for one, I think the Christmas is 75. I got the set that came with the bridge crew and the Enterprise play set with the little transporter thing where you'd spin it around and press the button and they would disappear.
Oh yeah. Now I have that. I have the Enterprise.
Yeah,
I
Mom threw
still
all
have it.
my toys away every time we moved, so I
Okay.
did not get to keep it. But
Yeah.
I have looked at it on eBay a few times.
In fact, when I redo this, I'll probably, fold that out and have the set, and then
Yeah,
the screen is just like got two hooks, little plastic hooks,
right.
and you would put the cardboard, they had two hoses, you put up different scenes, and the artwork was like done by a 2-year-old,
It was like magic
almost
marker. Yeah, it
stick
was.
figure. It was crazy. Yeah, it wasn't any
Yeah,
good.
but it was a cool play set, though. Up did we?
Yeah, it looks like we lost Timothy.
Okay. But yeah, it. I don't think I spent too much to get these because I think they flooded the market with these. They found a bunch in Canada
Oh,
and they
okay.
flooded the market at some point. So a
Originals
lot.
though?
Yeah, there were originals on the card, and so it kind of ran the prices down. So for the loose figures,
Well, that's good. I might want to like retire my new ones or something. I don't know. Some of them's like the silver, emblem there. Of course, that was just full, and
a
often
sticker, yeah,
that'll peel off, and then it's gray underneath.
yeah, yeah.
Some
The newer ones that Migo did, they just printed it on the shirt with like
Oh,
silver ink or something like that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's hard to even just moving this around. Kirk's phaser has fallen off. I might have to go down and find it. Um,
Yeah, I
But
mean the phasers and little communicators, which were small, that would actually
yeah,
just slide in and out of the belt.
yeah,
And you had a red one for the Klingon, and then all of them, yeah, were that sort of baby blue, which
right.
you know, all the you know the communicator or the tricorder or
Yeah, I was gonna say Spock came
the
with a
phaser.
tricorder. This one did not have that.
Yeah.
That was missing from it.
Yeah, I really
Um,
need to have some of them restored. I mean, like I think like Spock's shirt, it might have some spotting of maybe Coca-Cola or something. I don't know, but spotted that could probably come out if you know how to, clean that without damaging it. I know with my GI Joes, you had the snaps on the costumes. Well, those are still on there, but the thread, I mean, you try and snap or unsnap them, the
yeah,
thread has, so I need to have those re-sewn back on, with stronger thread.
yeah.
But that almost, you
That's
almost
another
have
thing
to.
they changed on the new ones. It's Velcro.
Now
But
here's somebody they could have stuck in there, a Power Girl. They could have
I
put her,
yeah.
with the boob window. I mean, the cleavage window. I
They
mean,
they did have. I know they had Wonder Woman. I don't know how many female characters they actually had, because it was boys buying those Mego dolls.
oh yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, I was such a Star Trek fan, and we were kind of Star Trek starved in the mid '70s. That was kind of
mhm.
in the lull years, right after or during when Filmation was doing the animated, but we
Yeah,
were kind of and before the movies. So
and really, that's
that's
what
when
these
they came
Mego
out with
action
the
figures were.
yeah
They
those
came
and
out
the
as license for the animated series. They looked like the actual actors, but they were
mhm,
releasing them because of the animated series.
yeah. Uh, but I enjoyed the quality. I'm really surprised, maybe just money wise, but now. Um, later they've come out with new ones. Like I have a Sulu figure that was not one of the
Yes,
figures. They
yeah,
had
they
a
had Chekhov
Gorn.
too. Yeah.
Now I never got a Gorn. Maybe because I never saw it, or maybe I
Mhm.
just didn't want it. But I couldn't.
He was
If I got a
brown.
Klingon
Yeah.
and if I got a Hura, I mean, I probably would have got a Gorn had I seen it.
Yeah, I think the Gorn was brown and had the Klingons outfit. I think.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Those aliens were
I
kind
think
of
they corrected that in
loosely.
the new ones. I think they corrected
Yes.
that in the new ones. And
Yeah.
I
And
know I picked up 2 of those at Target, and they were limited to Target by 10,000, but I think there were in other stores as well. But now maybe it was the packaging was different, that there's, it said Target on it, was limited to 10,000
yeah,
figures. But I'll show those tomorrow. I'll get those from, if I remember, I'll get them from upstairs and show those 2 figures that I bought, which kind of goes well with the original Migos that I do have. Uh, and they're still in the package. I never opened them up, but yeah, reason I did not lose many phasers or communicators or belts or tricorders or any of that stuff, and that mine are in such great shape is I did have that Enterprise case to keep them all in.
yeah,
And a few months back, I went back and actually dusted the outside off really well, cleaned it really well. But
yeah.
eventually I'll stick it back here and fold it out and you can see the interior with all that. But now, and it
I'll
may
try to
be a
find them
lost piece in
sometime.
there, but I try and spin the like you were talking
Transporter.
about. You would spin it around and it would have a green button and a red button, red for
Yeah,
stop, green for go, and spin that around. And, it just had like, and it's
yeah. It
cardboard,
stopped.
but
It's
it's
yeah. It stopped
vinyl
them. Right. It
plastic
stopped them on either side, so it would
on
stop.
either side. Yeah.
Yeah, where you could see the figure at the back, and then it had like a
And
little
mine
door that
stopping,
was
I
the
think
door.
it's probably because, there's a piece in there or something.
Could be, could be.
Famous,
Yeah, they were plastic.
you know.
But I came across this guy one time, um, who has made elaborate versions of like that playset. He cuts out cardboard, has printed graphics on it, and does the vinyl over it and does it up. And he had like this one that was the Enterprise bridge that looked more like the actual bridge. And he had put like some plastic like saucer with nacelles on top of it. It was like 4 feet wide. But he had done, as you spun it around, it had like different places. It had like engineering was on one side. The transporter room was on one side. So it was pretty elaborate, but the guy just made it for himself, and he even made like the boxes, and he would print to make them look like the boxes that the old Mego stuff came in.
Mark,
People are
you're cool,
obsessive.
but you're not as cool
As a Mongolian shepherd with an AK-47 and a pet snow leopard. No, I'm not that cool. Yeah. August mentions the Planet of the Apes board game. It has a cardboard cage that would occasionally follow the humans.
Yeah. Well, now I still have it. It's dented. A girl fell on it in my apartment and dented it and bruised herself.
Well, that you got to stop tossing them women around.
But it was a trash can,
Okay.
trash can that I bought at Walmart in the mid 70s, probably 75.
That's something you don't see. I'm surprised with like lunchboxes and stuff that people don't collect those old
metal trash cans,
trash cans,
or
they
even the
they did
plastic.
have them with they had lots of licensed TV shows and movies and stuff on those.
Now licenses have come a long way, promoting your product. Here is a photo from 1890, Mark, of a peanut salesman. He has
With
a
a
peanut
suit?
costume. Yeah, a peanut suit to sell peanuts.
I don't think that would
planters,
that would not make me want to buy the peanuts.
Yeah, you're
because I don't know what.
peanuts.
Yeah, I don't know. Has he worn these? Did this come from? Does he have peanut underwear that maybe?
Maybe,
I don't. Yeah, I think I would. I would step across the street.
Did you see the Serpico? There was only a comic book. There was only 6 of them printed.
Is it Italian?
I don't know. It didn't say, but it's probably
It's not
Italian.
English underneath there.
I think that's what Shadowhawk thought it was, But only 6 of them printed. I wonder why, the print run was so.
Maybe they just did the adaptation of the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and maybe they did it across 6
because
they did. Star Wars was 6 issues.
It was probably that they were going to go with it, and they said, "Nah, we couldn't get licensing." Or
are you saying 6 issues or 6 actual comics?
6 actual comics.
So they only printed 6 of number 1.
I believe that's right. Either that or there was only 6 issues ever published. Okay, so
yeah. So I would think they just adapt.
I was saying there was only 6 printed, but there's 6 issues. Okay, so it was
that would have been really hard to do in the old days.
3 immigrants just trying to better themselves, Mark.
No, they were not. they were invaders.
Yeah.
They're coming to rule our planet.
Invaders of planet Houston, if you remember.
Planet Houston.
Because they landed on the moon first and
and they called Houston to say
the astronauts. Yeah.
And remember they when they came to Earth, they landed in like a lake and they were going, this is a weird surface. Because they came from an ice planet.
And they walked on water. Yeah.
Yeah. They rose up. I remember when I first saw that as a kid, just being amazed with how they do that. And then you realize it's just a black board or something underneath the water. Galaxy Trio.
Oh, Galaxy Trio. Yeah, I know that from Hanna-Barbera. You had Meteor Man, Galaxy Girl, and what was the other guy? It's kind of
did they have a robot?
Gaseous,
No. Okay. I
No, they
think I've
had
posted some
like,
pictures, but I don't think I've ever
you know,
watched
on their
the cartoon.
costumes, they had like a 1, a 2, and 3 marks, you know, up here on their collar
Oh, okay.
to distinguish them, you know. Meteor Man, he grew large, like large fist or things. He was like a shapeshifter, Galaxy Girl.
Yeah.
She controlled gravity and flew. And there was another one that was kind of turned into gas. Hey,
Yeah.
Tank Trio was but both series were around the same year. So I wonder which had the ideal first. Well, the ideal for the transporter came from Forbidden Planet, the 50s movie. That's where he got the ideal for the transporter in Star Trek, because they had a transporter in Forbidden Planet, if you remember.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if that was. I know the
Hey, Hex.
the the production reason was that they couldn't land the ship, and at the beginning they didn't have a shuttlecraft, so that was a way. That was a budgetary thing. Was if
Yeah.
they could transport down, then you didn't have to show the ship landing.
Speaking of
Um,
Hanna-Barbera, there you go. There's the cast that did the voices to the
that's
character.
that's an AI thing because that is not Mel Blanc. It does look like Alan Reed, but
Did Mel
the
Blanc
women
do one of them?
Mel Blanc did the voice of Barney,
Barney. Okay, yeah, that's
and
definitely doesn't
and
look like
B
Mel Blanc, does it?
yeah B but so it's a that's a an AI image, but B Benaderet, is that how you say it? She was in a lot of radio programs and stuff. She did the voice of
Hmm.
Betty, and it was Gene Vanderpyle who did Wilma. But yeah, that's one of those AI images.
Have you bought any? I know you like Speed Buggy and some of those weird 70s.
Yeah.
I like the thing with the thing ring. Thing ring, do your
Yes.
thing.
I
And
was
then
telling
all the
a young guy about that, and he was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I was going, "No," because I was trying to explain to him that as a kid, I
Mhm.
loved the Thing because he was a cartoon character. He was the one that was accessible for kids. And I mentioned the Thing ring thing, and I was like going, and then he turned back into a teenager named Benji or something like that.
Rex, I don't remember. Well, it was he doesn't remember the transporter from Forbidden Planet. It was made by the um
The alien
Morbius,
race.
right? No. Well, I mean
Yeah,
it
because
could have
you
been,
got the alien technology.
but now Morbius
Um,
was a genius too. He did Robbie the Robot, right? So he might have made the transporter.
Yeah,
It's
don't
been a while,
remember there being a. I don't remember there being a teleporter in it, but
but it
the
was
idea of a
animated by
teleporter has been
Disney.
around.
It was
Yeah,
the
Disney did the
transporter part
monster. Yeah,
and the
no, that
monster.
was the monster. That was the
Yeah, but
monster.
the transporter too, I think, was animated. Maybe.
I'm trying to
I'm not
remember if they
I'm
had.
not sure how they did that.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But
remember if
I'm
they had a
sure you can go on
teleporter.
YouTube and there's a documentary. Like I say,
But
you can go on YouTube and watch just about anything and get a PhD if you study
yeah,
hard.
but there were sure. I'm sure there were sci-fi stories that were using teleporters before the '60s. I think that was an idea that
Well, I mean, The
was
Forbidden
already
Planet
around.
is in one of those 50 sci-fi movies, and it was
Yeah.
one of the rare ones filmed in color. As I remember, the transporter in that one was sort of red for color to transport.
I'm
They
trying
only
to
used
remember
it like
that.
once in the movie, I think. But that's where
Yeah,
Gene
because
Roddenberry
they had
is
like
said to have gotten that ideal.
yeah, he got a lot from Forbidden Planet. There's a lot of stuff that
If
you
you
can see as
well, if you
correlations.
look at the downward shots, the probably matte paintings, the downward shots when you look in Forbidden Planet, that's much like they do in Time Tunnel, where they show
Hmm.
you just like that, just like that. And that's got to come straight from Forbidden Planet. If you want to
Yeah,
see matte paintings taken to the nth degree, Forbidden Planet's great, study for that.
yeah. Well, the original pilot, The Cage, up until close to when
Hmm.
they filmed the pilot, the captain had a hat. and
Oh,
there is
yeah.
actually one shot of his quarters, and you can see the hat somewhere. He didn't wear
Okay.
it in it, but the guys in Forbidden Planet did have hats.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did. They had like caps. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think there was definitely um, uh, it's so obvious that was a huge inspiration. Um, wasn't Richard Dean Anderson? Not Richard Dean Anderson. Richard Anderson in that? Wasn't he a young guy? The guy who played Oscar Goldman? I think he was one of the junior crewmen. Leslie Nielsen, of course, was the star, was captain.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to almost look at him and as a serious actor, but I mean, he was a serious leading man actor.
Yeah,
Till
yeah.
he,
Young people
hit
would be
the
shocked to find
70s and
that out.
started doing comedy like Airport or
Airplane,
or
yeah, that was the first time
Naked
he ever
Gun.
did
Airplane,
anything
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Airport. What the fuck?
I watched those airport movies. I bought a box set of them. Well, I got a projector last year for Christmas, and I would set up the screen, and I was just watching old movies. And so I bought uh, a collection of the airport movies, and wow, they just steadily got worse.
You know what I want?
So
I want a action figure of, and I guess maybe I need to go on eBay and see Greatest American Hero.
oh yeah,
Believe it or not.
they had a toy line that I think never got produced because it got canceled before they did it.
Mhm.
But I have seen prototypes for those. I did love that show. I've got
Have
that
you
on
se
DVD somewhere.
have you seen the Venus probe thing that was for the $6 million man
Yes,
toy?
I
That's kinda
watched a
rare.
whole video about that.
They
Yeah,
made a
because
toy about it, but it's very rare. It was an expensive,
yeah.
big, sort of bulky thing,
Well, yeah, and it came out late in the toy line, so a lot of people
Yes, it did.
didn't even know about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd
Yes,
never
it
heard
did.
of it. I watched a video about it,
But it was a
and that was the
reoccurring
first.
thing, it made a couple of appearances in $6 million man. It was
Yeah.
almost like Bigfoot. I think remember Bigfoot's pal, Stephanie Powers, the alien? She
Oh,
was
was
in,
she?
yeah, Stephanie
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Powers
to go
from
back.
Heart to Heart and
Actually,
the girl from Uncle.
yeah, I actually did pick up. Oh, I remember that where they were. It was there was a flying saucer, and she was trapped.
Yeah, they were like crashed in a mountain or something. They were located in a
Yeah, yeah,
mountain,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the first Bigfoot was
Ted
Andre
Cassidy.
the Giant.
Oh, was it Andre
And
the Giant? Then Ted Cassidy?
the second one that did more than one episode was Ted Cassidy. But the
Yeah,
original was Andre the Giant, the wrestler.
and Ted Cassidy was the original in the original pilot of that was never aired of the Incredible Hulk, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
got sick and he
He did
died.
the
And I want to
voice, didn't he?
say he did the voice. They kept the voice, even
Uh-huh.
though he had died. He had done these vocalizations,
Yeah, and
these
Ted
roars and
Cassidy, of
stuff.
course, famous for doing Lurch.
Right?
Played an android in a great episode of in original Star Trek.
Yes, he
Uh,
was. What was?
that's when they cloned Kirk or made a
Yes,
duplicate of him.
the what are little girls made of? I think is the name of the
Yeah.
episode.
Uh-huh.
I can't. I'm blanking on the name
And
of
you got to see
his
Nurse
character.
Chapel a lot in that because he was the ex-love of Nurse Chapel.
Yeah, the old man who was there
Mhm.
was supposed to be his her fiance, and she was going there,
Yeah.
and the girl, the pretty girl, who was that Anne Francis? No, no, it was somebody. It was the girl from the
Gunsmoke.
Danny. Yeah, there.
She was in Gunsmoke, by the way. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, that's that chick from Star Trek. She was
yeah.
a beauty.
It was. I think it was the girl from Danny Thomas show, and
If you want to see a lot of Star Trek actors, check out Gunsmoke.
yeah,
I mean, William Shatner's in there. Leonard Nimoy's in there a lot. He usually plays plays a bad guy, of course.
Right.
But
Yeah.
um,
Well, Jimmy Doohan, who played Scotty, was in The Lone Ranger, and DeForest Kelly
uh,
too.
yeah, I mean, I think I seen Doohan, actually, the guy that played Scotty. Absolutely, I think he
Yeah.
did a Gunsmoke episode. You were saying yesterday that Harrison Ford did, in some of the last seasons.
Yeah.
He made a couple appearances, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. His first movie was with he had a walk on, phone call for Mr. whatever,
Was
and
that
brought the phone to the table.
Apocalypse Now?
No, it was before that. It was in the 60s with he was in Magnificent Seven. The man from Flint.
Oh, was that what it was?
Colbert. No, not Colbert.
James Colbert. No.
I can't
What
think
was
of his
that guy's
name. I'm
name?
blanking on his name. Rick's the
Yeah.
third guy from Galaxy Trio was called Vapor Man. I thought so, but I
Vapor
didn't
Man.
want to say. Also, DC Legion had Gas Girl. Remember? I don't know if I remember Gas Girl. You almost made it through a show without mentioning Gunsmoke show. Well, I had to. I mean, I knew Omer would be disappointed if I didn't mention Gunsmoke.
Coburn, James Coburn.
James Coburn, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a movie with James Coburn. It's got a kind of a wacky title. So Harrison Ford, James Coburn. Google it.
Because he was originally under contract for one of the studios, in the very end of the studio system.
Yeah. And that's probably why he had that walk-on role. That was his very first
They would
role.
just put him in little things.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, in the off season, he'd do like carpentry and all kinds of different stuff to pay the bills. While it took it. We look at these Harrison Ford. Oh, he's big. Okay, he wasn't big till Star Wars.
Okay, I
And
just
then
looked up the
anything-
Galaxy Trio. I've never seen them before.
Oh gosh, Mark, a pox upon you, my friend. Oh, Galaxy Trio is
One of
great.
the guys looks like a beefy white-haired Spock.
Now, yes, and that
Meteor
is
Man.
Meteor Man. He's that
Yeah.
shapeshifter that can enlarge his fist to hit you with and stretch to hit you with, a little bit more Fantastic Four,
Let's see.
You'd think Meteor Man would, shoot meteors at you or something.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they were the actual program that they were on was Birdman and the Galaxy Trio. And it was 67, 68 was when it ran. So that would have been
short.
after.
I mean,
that would have been after Star Trek started, because Star Trek,
even
was
Herculoids,
66.
Space Ghost, very short, like one seasons almost. I mean, 26 episodes, maybe.
Yeah.
They're very short,
like
but they're memorable. I mean, it was great. And
It looks like
if there's one politician I'd like to get my hands on and just totally wipe out from history, it's Ted Kennedy, because he's the one that wiped out superheroes, basically.
with all the violent stuff.
With the legislation, yeah. And
Yeah.
I watched all that stuff. Johnny Quest did not make me crazy. It was politicians like Ted Kennedy that made me crazy.
So what? Yeah, I was going to say, what did make you crazy?
Yeah.
So it looks like the last original episode aired January 20th, 1968, which was like 8 days before I was born. So yeah, no, I have never seen Galaxy Trio. In fact, I had in my mind what I thought they looked like, and this is nothing like what I thought.
Well, a lot of that stuff, like Johnny Quest, okay, that was shown in like
Primetime.
Reruns, primetime, but and so memorable. But some of the lesser ones, like Galaxy Trio and stuff like that, I had to go back and like remember later, like in the early 90s. I've shared this before, that when VHSs first started coming out and they did like the Marvel ones for the first time on VHS, I was like the openers, oh, I've seen that. Or, Hanna-Barbera did, and it'll probably never be released because of licensing problems. There's some, they did play them. The first 3 years that Cartoon Network came out, they played all those 60s things. That's basically what they had in their staple to play 24/7.
Right, because Turner had bought Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. And for like the first 3 years, it was like the 60s again. You got to see Dino Boy and all those cartoons again, that were so great. And
Secret Squirrel.
And yeah, exactly. And Morocco Mo.
Yeah.
And Adam Ant, Up and Adam Ant.
Yeah.
Love that,
Loved Adam Ant, yeah.
But you had superhero galore
what were the little Three Musketeers? Yippee Yappy and Yahoo!
Yeah. You had so much in the 60s, which I think was kind of the golden age in a way, of where, with Superman getting Filmation getting Superman contract really started, according to Lou Scheimer, Saturday morning TV.
Well, it definitely started Filmation because they had to hire fake people to come in to a building that they made look like a studio to get that Superman job.
Yeah, and Ted Knight was there.
Yeah.
Who later voiced Batman and so many other characters.
Did he voice Batman or did he voice? Wasn't he the?
He did the Joker
narrator for the Super Friends.
He narrated that. He was a narrator on a lot. Yeah, if you look under Ted Knight, it's like, wow, he's not just on Caddyshack.
So what was? Hey, Homer. So what was Meteor Man's powers?
Meteor Man, he was kind of a shapeshifter, Stretch, whatever. Meteor Man name did not match his superpowers at all. Yeah. At least Galaxy Girl, okay, that's a goody.
She was the girl, so she did that. She got that
control gravity, which, in Galaxy or stars, you got
Vapor Man was. I'm assuming Vapor Man could turn to vapor.
He turned to like a gas and whatever, But now Gas Girl from DC Legion of Superhero, I don't know, don't remember her by that name.
Maybe it was that Fantastic Four thing, like your big rock creature, kind of a thing, so we'll call you Thing, and you Johnny, you catch on fire, we'll call you Human Torch, and then Reed, you stretch around, and we'll call you Mr. Fantastic.
Look, man, in real life, Plastic Man, Mr. Fantastic, or somebody like Meteor Man that's kind of shape-shifting, can
elongated man,
elongated man, they're going to pleasure women. They're going to be the Hugh Hefners. Are they not? Come on. You could. They're going to be the ultimate Casanovas of the superhero, babes. Come on.
Okay,
you can reconfigure everything. You can make yourself look like, anybody from Don Knotts to, Gregory Peck, Gregory Peck.
You would get less girls with Don Knotts than they would.
Mr. Roper. Well, now
I thought you were going to talk about his ability to alter his parts.
Yeah. Basically, that's it. You got the hint. Yeah. Let's face it. If you wanted one superpower, and you're like Homer, you want it to get a woman, well, you're going to say Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man. You're going to want, if you go with Plastic Man, because you can stretch, and you're probably going to be, if you're plastic, it's a condom already.
Why does it have to be me, right?
I
was going to say,
my condolences, Homer. Yeah,
latex is plastic. I'm just saying.
Can you all
I
hear me?
mean, it beats the old ones of sheep intestines. I mean,
We can hear you, Homer.
I was gonna say, did y'all see the latest version of the Invisible Man? With
no,
what was his
Um,
name?
because he was invisible.
No,
I did
no,
not.
but
Because wasn't it like a horror movie or something?
yeah, it went straight into the perv version. So like every Invisible Man is apparently a hornball, right? And all they want to do is bang women.
Well, didn't they do that with Hollow Man, which he was also invisible in there, but he kind of smanged on the women? Hollow
Yeah,
Man
they
series?
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
for Hollow Man, yeah.
Which
Wait a minute.
is kind of
They had a
psychotic.
movie. They had a movie, an Invisible Man movie in the 80s that was Steve Gutenberg, and it was the exact same thing. As soon as he could go invisible, he went through like the women's showers or whatever. And apparently, that's the main purpose of being invisible.
Invisible, right? Yeah.
Is going to places where naked women are.
Is that the one where the guy had to be naked to be invisible, and it was kind of comedic?
Yes,
but it was meant
yes.
to be a horror movie.
No, it wasn't a horror movie. It was a horror because it was awful, but it was meant to be a comedy.
It was meant to be a comedy, yeah.
I got it recently because it was filmed in 3D, and so I got a 3D Blu-ray of it.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it was pretty awful.
Yeah, but classic awful, like fun, good classic awful, right?
Yeah. I mean, there were legitimately funny scenes, but it was not a good movie.
You're right. But that adds to
And
the
then-
charm of it being awful.
Yeah. Chevy Chase did that movie where he was invisible, and I can't remember what that was called.
Oh, yeah. I remember that vaguely.
Say
Oh,
that
I thought
again.
Rex.
Say that
Chevy
again.
Chase did a movie where he was an invisible man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What was that
I
called?
can't remember the name of it. I know he did
Memoir. It was
Fletchman.
called Memoirs of the Invisible Man, or
Okay,
Memoirs of
there you go.
an Invisible Man. It was a John Carpenter movie. It was.
Probably,
It was directed by
yeah.
John Carpenter. It was Chevy Chase and Daryl Hannah.
Oh,
And it was directed by
I loved
John
her in
Carpenter.
Splash. Loved
Yeah,
her in Splash.
I'm astonished that that's a John Carpenter movie. I remember seeing it on cable back in the day, but I don't.
Back in the day.
Back in the day when I was watching things on cable instead of streaming stuff like you little whippersnappers.
I remember back in the day when we had to put in the 8-track.
8-track was great.
Yeah.
You could put lots of stuff on an 8-track.
The walking tree, a New Zealand tree that looks like it's out for a straw, wins 2024 Tree of the Year.
Wow. That's the
I
real
did not
Groot
know
right
that
there.
there was a Tree of the Year. Yeah,
Which is a great segue to show your Groot that you posted.
Thank you for showing that earlier.
I did
That was nice of
show
you.
that earlier. Yeah. I am Groot.
Yeah, so I did try to jump on a little while ago, but Windows did this update, and then with all the BS that StreamYards is doing, my cameras weren't working. I had to reinstall the drivers. It took me like the last 20 minutes or so.
Savage Sword of
And then
Conan strikes the shelf today. This cover be special, for it is a rare and mighty honor art of the hand of the late great Neil Adams, seen by none till now. His legacy lives like a echo of thunder across the ages, and Team Conan is proud to bear this tribute into battle. Our thanks to the estate of Neil Adams for letting the legend ride once more beside the Sumerians.
So what does a Neil Adams Conan look like?
Well, there it is. That's
that
out on
actually
the
looks
stands
pretty good.
today.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, if you follow Neil Adams on Instagram, his wife and son, like they're always live, even still, trying to sell his art and everything.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see
his
that every
son.
once in a
Yeah.
while. I'll get a notification. Neil Adams is live, and I'm going. I
And
don't
I'm
think
like,
so.
what the hell? He's not
Here's
alive, but he's live.
another great Ra's al Ghul cover where he did the one side in pencils that
Oh,
went
let me see.
behind it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's neat. Anytime that you just do the pencil stuff. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was with Rush Al Ghul that he wanted to do it that way, but he and Jack
I think
Adler
it.
were always experimenting. On this
Yeah,
date
and
in
they could do
1991,
it half
Nintendo
covered. So
released the hit video game Donkey Kong. On this
oh, I
date in
love Donkey
1981.
Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah, I spent many a quarter as a kid playing
maybe a
Donkey Kong.
quarter.
That's how much it cost.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of
Oh
my
yeah.
fascination of bonking the princess over the head and tying her up to a pole.
Either that,
I never made it
or
that far. Yeah.
you had tokens. I know we had Circus and other places, and would get tokens instead of
Yeah.
like quarters or something. I don't know.
I first encountered like Donkey Kong and Space Invaders, just like out, in the first part of a grocery store or something. They would have them just out there. They were. Um, I don't remember seeing arcades. I didn't live in a place with an arcade until later on, but
Yeah.
I was
I do
spoiled,
remember.
guys.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, I
I
was just
told
gonna
my
say
story
I got
after you.
the Atari 2600 when they came out with the Donkey Kong game, and I remember it being very disappointed
Nice.
that it didn't look that much
Oh,
like the real Donkey Kong.
that sucks. So back in the day, when arcades and video console arcade games were being put out into actual arcade places, we had a convenience store, and we were fortunate enough that this guy came by and he's like, "Hey, would you guys like to have some video arcade here in your store? And we'll let you use them, and we'll come by and pick up the quarters." And my dad was like, "Sure, that'll get people to come in or whatever, and kids and stuff." And sure enough, we had Donkey Kong in there, we had Space Invaders, and he would come and swap out the games every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
It was cool. It was real cool.
I worked
Yeah,
briefly at an
that's my
arcade
story.
when I was in college,
Oh,
and
nice.
by that point, I really wasn't into the games. And I remember that the big draw, the game that we had at the front door, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Oh yeah.
It was like a 4-player thing that kids would put.
Yeah.
They would their parents would spend a small fortune because it would say, to continue, put in more tokens or whatever. But I remember I was sitting there and my entire day was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Oh,
Teenage
you must
Mutant
have been
Ninja Turtles.
so
Zeros and
annoyed.
a half.
Hey,
Yes.
Scarlett. And you got 10 seasons of that. 10 seasons.
I just had the video game playing it over and over and over again, and but it was definitely a moneymaker because it was
Yeah,
just you just
we have
mash
a
buttons.
August
we had a
says
place
for
called
Invisibility, the Gemini Man TV series had a wristwatch by which he could turn invisible, but only 15 minutes at a time.
Ooh.
Was that
I
British?
remember the
Gemini
Invisible
Man?
Man TV show with the guy from Man from Uncle, and he had like a mask, so he would take off his clothes and his mask, and be invisible. As a little kid, I just remember thinking that mask was real.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Excuse me.
it lasted very long. And I think they showed it on Sci-Fi Channel or something not all that long ago, and it wasn't very good. But I remember seeing an episode or two when I was a kid.
There was a new version of the Invisible Man on Sci-Fi in like the mid 2000s, It was pretty good. It had this really suave guy. I can't remember his name, but he was kind of a big deal for a little bit, and then he went off. He left that show to like do a bigger show on mainstream television,
Uh-huh.
and like
Like on a
and that's
network
why
or
the
something.
show ended. Yeah, he went like to CBS to be like a cop on a cop show or something. I can't remember the actor. The Elementalist. I think
Oh,
he
yeah,
was the
that
guy who was the Elementalist, and that went on for like 10 seasons or something. So
yeah, I'm looking it up here and cast Vincent Ventresca. Was that I guess that was the name of the
the actor.
star. Yeah. Yeah, probably not a good move. I'm sure it seemed like a great move at the time. It says he was also known for being Professor Jack Reed on NBC's Boston Common. So was that the show that he ended up on?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
I
they
need to
don't
look it up so I know who you're talking about exactly.
Yeah,
We'll look it up here.
if that's the right guy.
The right guy.
I'm guessing that it must be relatively cheap to do invisibility special
Right.
effects. The special effect is that he's not there.
Right. Exactly.
Actor doesn't have to be on set. Look, we pulled the chair by the leg over. It must be that there's an invisible man sitting in it. Now I'm thinking I want to make an Invisible Man movie.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh, make it with puppets though. Like everybody's
Yeah.
a puppet. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Vincent, yeah, Vertreska. Yeah, that's the guy. What else did he go on to do?
It said Boston Common, but that may have been later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
How clever to name it The Invisible Man.
Well, Boston Common was before The Invisible Man. What did he do after?
Oh, okay. Looks like he did a lot of one episode guest star things.
I could have swore he left to be on some show on like major network TV.
There is he was Jimmy Savage on a show called Complete Savages for 16 episodes.
Maybe that was it.
Nick Savage is a single father struggling to raise his 5 unruly sons following the abandonment of their mother. Works on call day and night as a firefighter. I can't imagine.
Oh, he was in Dollhouse. He was in Dollhouse with what's her name?
From
with,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yeah.
Justin Belmont says the printer only gave me part of my order so far, a bunch of pencils down cover A's and a few copies of the rest of the variants. All the stickers have been printed and the engraved pencils are ready to go. Everything looks great. I should have my Geminis by the weekend. I'm almost ready to start fulfillment. If you haven't backed it yet, what are you waiting for? He says. Pencils down.
What are you waiting for? Get on it. What are you
waiting for? Yeah.
Well, I've got all the videos done for the discs for fulfilling Star Trek, and I've got the first few menu screens built. I've got to finish up those. To show how out of it was, and I haven't seen DVDs in so long, I realized after I had done the first couple that on the extras screen, I had not put a back button. So there was no way to go back to the main screen. So I've got to go back and add that to those. It's going to be annoying though, because the software that I use to build the discs is this old Adobe app that they stopped supporting a long time ago. So the way I'm going to do it is I have an old version of Creative Suite 6 on this old iMac that's on an old operating system. And I've got it's so old, the operating's so old that it, like AirDrop doesn't work. I haven't been able to, like, I tried to use even just doing Dropbox, but the Dropbox wouldn't support that old of a browser. So I was like, so I had to buy an external hard drive. I'm going to put everything on that, connect that to the iMac, and then build them there. And then what it'll let me do is build a disk image, and that's what I can upload to the replicators to get them to make the discs. So with luck, I hope to have it done by Friday. Saturday, my family and I are going to Florida for a week, and I don't want to work on anything. I just want to relax for a week, because
I
wouldn't either. Yeah.
I spent my whole 4-day weekend with July 4th trying to get these videos done. And
Too bad you won't be in Tokyo. Lights, Camera, Kaiju. Reservations are now open for the all-new Godzilla versus King Ghidorah room at that hotel in Tokyo. There you go.
Oh, nice.
There's your lizard representation for today, Lorenzo.
Yeah. What is it, King? What the 3-headed one is? It's got like it's like King something.
King Ghidorah. Yeah.
King Ghidorah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The high.
I think it's really bizarre how this like it's not even old technology, and it's not antiquated either, but like nobody can do it anymore if you don't have the right older stuff to do it, like making DVDs. Like whoever thought that would be something that's like uncapable on new computers, you know?
Yeah. Well, if I was on Windows, I could probably pick up 15 applications that did that for free. But it's doing it on the Mac that's the thing. But
that's the issue. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen some out there, but I'm like, I don't want to take a chance and buy them and find out that they don't work right or whatever.
Especially on a Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll just go back and get it. And I've decided this is the end of me making physical media. Whatever I do next time, I'll just put it on YouTube. I'm not messing with making these discs anymore because it's just too much effort.
Yeah, you really rethought the packaging and everything.
Yeah. I still have to 3D print all those because I had to redesign the package. And
what about throwing all that stuff like on a USB, like selling a USB with the stuff as a media? Like, media.
It's easier
like, to put on the stream, right? But I'm not.
It's kind of like doing a print comic. You'd sell a digital comic, but you want to have that physical thing. And actually, let me grab it. I don't know if I've shown it to you. I'll show you what the box looks like.
Gas Girl was a mutant in the group called the Lolorians, who would occasionally help the Legion. I think I have her in my mind, what she looked like, a Dave Cockrum design, but I'm not sure. That may be because he did so many. Scarlet Fever, shout out to you. Elsie's back.
So it's a nice 3D printed box, and then it holds. You get each of the movies has a DVD, and then there's a Blu-ray.
And how can we get one of those, Mark? How can we get one of those?
You can't, because there was only 50 of them, and they've already sold out.
It's I was just mimicking what Elsie said. Yeah,
but I had to go back and put in these notches so that it's possible to pull out the DVDs. The first one I did was flat, and you'd have to do like this to try and get them to come out.
Square one. I mean, you got to think, package design,
But it was cool because I did, when I went back, I made it so you could have the Blu-ray in it. And I have a little notch right here that runs in there. So it keeps the Blu-ray at the same height as the DVDs, which is neat.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I designed
Give me the STL file. I'll print one out for Elsie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So I did it so it's got an inset on the front and back that's 4x6, so I could put a postcard, glue a postcard in, so that gives color art on the front and back.
That's
And
cool, man.
thanks.
And
It's
are you 3D printing those yourself?
I
Or are you
am.
getting those somewhere made?
No, I'm
That's
printing
awesome.
myself, so they're one of a kind, because each one will
Yeah,
be
it's-
slightly different. And but yeah, my whole goal with this was to literally be able to put Star Trek on the shelf. It's done. It's there. It's got a nifty box, and
and you made it for 50 people to be able to do that too.
yes, well, even 49 because I'm keeping one.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's awesome,
Thanks.
man.
Thanks. That's the old Yosemite Sam pistol from Roger Rabbit with the Western bullets.
Yeah.
Wasn't Pat Buttram one of them? Mr. Douglas, can I interest you in this genuine?
Now, Omar, will you give me a call just on my telephone? I don't know if I brought
Sure.
my phone
Like
in
right
or
now?
not. Yeah, right now.
Like right. Sure.
Sloppy Joe baked potato pie. Ooh.
Mm.
Sloppy Joe baked potato pie. That does
So
sound good.
basically you smash a baked potato, right? You put the sloppy Joe and then the cheese on it and the crust on top of that, and then cheese on top of that, and bake it in a skillet. And
Mm.
here's the finished product.
Coffee that
Looks
is,
pretty
brother.
good. Let's just
Rex,
watch him
your
do it.
phone says that you can't receive calls at this time, so it didn't ring on the
Oh, that's right. You know why? Because I haven't put in my new plan yet. That way, I don't have to work tonight if I don't check it. No,
shit.
that's why I need to check.
So we'll see you on the
Uh,
Hump Day show. We'll see you.
Hump Day. That's right. I was
Hump
going to say
Day.
Omer Glitch's Hump Day show tonight. At what time, sir?
9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern.
Yes. And that's why I haven't loaded up a new plan, but I do have the new plan here, and I'm going to download it. And I've got to send a picture to Elsie, some tracking numbers. But yeah, check this out. This is what I say, Sloppy Joe
Sloppy
pie.
Joe potato.
So maybe
Like
pour the
potato?
butter over it there.
Oh,
and
that's butter. Yeah, and then it's smushed.
Mash
Oh,
it.
yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah.
And put the Sloppy Joe,
Mm.
cheese,
Mm.
crust.
So the potato acts as the bread.
Yeah, put the butter on the crust. Cheese
More butter.
there,
More cheese.
butter. Look at that.
Into the oven.
Oh my
Got
goodness.
it. Oh,
I think I have to go. I think I have to go make the,
Yeah.
and then
I
I'll
like Sloppy Joe, but it
I'll
just
invite
kinda
you guys to my funeral.
coronary. Oh,
Not the Sloppy
full
Joe,
of
but the funeral.
Yeah.
Can you just invite us to the Sloppy Joe? We'll go
Well,
to the
then we'll
funeral way
all
later.
then we'll
Way later.
all be dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, check out the
I like your
original
Vader
Mr.
helmet back
Floppy
there, Mark.
down here.
Oh, thank
on
you.
the
I got
Hump Day
that.
show.
I got that this last year. It's actual size, which is really cool. Was it Hasbro has like these?
Yeah, the big mass, the black editions or whatever they're
yeah, and they're kind of cheap, but they look pretty good. I've got that. I've got the Stormtrooper, and I've got Luke's X-wing helmet, and they're pretty cool props to have like around. But
Yeah.
I wanted, when I was a kid after Star Wars came out, Don Post or one of those people had a Darth Vader mask that I saw like at a Spencer's or something. And I
Yeah,
wanted it more
Spencer's.
than anything. And I think it was like $40 or $50. Mom said, "There's no way
Wow.
you can spend that much." And of course, I spent probably $120 on on this one all the years later, which is
Well,
probably
if
still
you're-
cheaper with inflation.
Right. If you remember back in the day when you can find some of those Star Wars helmets in like magazines, they were like $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts.
The sad thing is my neck is too big. I can't actually wear the Darth Vader mask, which was a
Yeah, I
bummer
probably
because
have that same problem.
it's actually in, like 3 pieces. It's got the part that goes on your neck, and then it's got the little thing that has like the 2 things that stick out at the front, and then the I guess that's part of the neck, and then you have the face mask part, and then you have the helmet.
The back part of the top helmet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, does that one have the little box that comes down and has the buttons so you can talk with the speaker inside the helmet?
I think it does, and it also has like stuff on the interior, so it looks like there's gadgetry in there and stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to see.
Johnny Weissmuller.
Oh,
Top
I
like
can't. Yeah,
Tarzan.
I can't do. He was like Swedish or something. So he yodeled.
Oh,
Swedish.
But here's
wow.
the-
He's a Swedish.
All right.
here's the stormtrooper one.
Okay.
It's nice looking.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is nice. Yeah. July 9th, 1922, Johnny Weissmuller became the first person to swim 100 meters freestyle in under 1 minute.
Oh, that's right. He was
50
a swimmer, Olympic swimmer. or something, yeah.
58.6 seconds. He won 5 Olympic gold medals in all. He went on to play Tarzan in a series of Hollywood movies, and he is considered the definitive Tarzan. Yeah.
He did it for a long time.
Another Tarzan was a swimmer as well, Buster Crabbe, who also played Buck Rogers and played Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah. But he was also Tarzan.
Wow.
And on that little note, I guess we'll get out of here as soon as somebody says the magic words. Check out the Hump Day show tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
I think the magic words are sloppy Joe potato pie.